loved competing in juniors. I just love it. It just reminds me of when I was a little kid and just came out here for the pure love of it.
Well, hello and welcome back. We're here at Sydney Olympic Park Athletic Centre. It's Super Saturday and you're watching the live coverage of the 53rd Australian Junior Athletics Championships. This is the Day 4 afternoon session. I'm Dave Robbo, and joining me up here in the commentary box is Matty Lynch. Lynchy, welcome back.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. It's good to be here. We've got plenty of finals lined up on the track this afternoon, and it's the sprint finals. We're going to see some hundreds, some 200s, and we're going to be taking you through to 3 o'clock, where you'll be joined by Wurmy and Mossy again to take you to 4:30. And that's just halfway for the Super Saturday session.
Yeah, well, Super Saturday, it's 9 hours of live athletics. Lynchy, I think this is unprecedented in the history of athletics coverage in Australia. So you're getting all this today with the juniors, and then from 6 p.m, we'll be talking up the Sydney Track Classic as well. So there we go. We're on our feet already. We don't want to peak too early, Lynchy, but there's just so much to get excited about here. And keep in mind, a lot of these athletes, some of them are already booking their spot on the plane to Colombia.
That's right, yes. We had Darcy Roper earlier today in the under-18 long jump, jumping 7.68 meet record. And I think over on the back straight's the under-18 women, so we might see Andrea Thompson. She's got potential there. And also the javelin throw coming up in 2 o'clock. We've got 2 athletes that could potentially go to Colombia. And
if you're wondering about Colombia, well, that's the flag right there. That will be the host country for the World Youth Championships coming up later this year, and that's the hot ticket item, is get yourself over there.
It is.
We've also got to remember, Lynchy, that, and I know you're big on your Colombian fact, but we've also got the Samoa flag there as well. Now, Samoa, that's an interesting one, because the city of Apia in Samoa, that's going to be hosting the Commonwealth Youth Games over there too. So, Lynchy, you've experienced those firsthand.
I did. It happened to be in Bendigo the time that I went, so not too far away.
Well, the focal point of the Commonwealth, really, Bendigo.
It was, yeah. It goes to the nation that's going to host the next. Well, it usually goes to the nation that's going to host the next Commonwealth Games.
Right.
So in 2004, went to Bendigo, and then 2006 it was in Melbourne.
So Samoa, looking good.
So I'm guessing it was just Australia's turn not to have it, as we've got on the Gold Coast, so they've shared it out to the Pacific nations.
Perfect. Well, why not? Our Pacific neighbours, and great to have them on board. So big shout out to everyone watching all around the world, Colombia, Samoa, wherever you are, and especially all around Australia as well, Lynchy. This is great that we can beam this out. We're going to show you some coverage here on the track now, but whichever state or territory you barrack for, well, we've got pretty much, we've got a good spread here in this first live action on the afternoon session here, Lynchy.
That's right. Now, I think we should keep an eye on Catherine Miller from New South Wales in the Heat 3 of the under-16 women's 800 metres. Earlier, she did take out the 1500 in this age group, so she would be favourite. The Queensland athlete on the outside, absolutely tearing down the back straight, looking to cross first. Closely followed by another Queenslander from position 4, Elizabeth Haig. It's Cara Jardines at the moment who's going to lead the athletes, just settling in. As we see, we have 3 heats, looking for probably the next, the first 2 and the next 3 fastest times to get through to the final. So first 2 across the line in this will be automatically securing their spot in the final tomorrow. As you see, they come down into the home straight. Still Queenslander Haig leading the field through. Ruby Smee from New South Wales in second, and that's Catherine Miller on the outside with the 6 on her hip, starting to push past those athletes and find herself comfortably sitting on the shoulder of the Queenslander. As we go down the back straight, 300 metres left, and Smee has gone past into second place, so New South Wales now holds down the first 2 automatic positions. Early leader from Queensland tucking in to third, but she needs to get up into those first top 2 positions to make sure she has 100% secured her spot into the final. 200 metres left. Catherine Miller very, very comfortable out in front. And it's going to take a lot from the other athletes to dislodge her from the lead. As we cut to the high jump on the side, and we see it just knocking down the bar. First attempt at 168 in that high jump there. But here we are in the home straight. Catherine Miller having a look around. Not really troubled by the other athletes. Ruby Smee from New South Wales is going to hold on for second place. 2:12.81 unofficially for Catherine Miller. Much faster this third heat than the others, so good news for third place there. Might be able to sneak under as one of the fastest non-automatic qualifiers.
Yes, so that's that one done there, Lynchy. We look ahead, as you mentioned earlier. Big afternoon of finals. It was a huge afternoon of finals yesterday here on day 3, but day 4 dishing up plenty of medal opportunities once again for our athletes. And on the track, well, the short sprints, 100s and 200s, they are going to be exciting. And I'm just casting my eye down the program here now, and there's a little race at 2:03 p.m. The men's under-20s 100-metre final. Lynch, I know you're excited for that one.
Oh, I'm glad it's my turn to be in the box up here, because I think we've probably got the best seat in the house to see Trey Williams, 10:40 last week, taking out the Queensland Track Classic against Rowan Browning, who was second behind Jack Hale.
That's correct.
And actually, he has never been beaten by Trey Williams.
Wow.
In Adelaide last year, they were both in the same heat. Rowan taking that out, and in the final, Trey actually came third in that race. So they haven't raced each other. Oh, they may have raced each other in Canberra, I think, at the Track Classic. Rowan winning again. And they haven't raced each other since.
All right, well, there you go. And Rowan Browning on his home track here in Sydney.
That's right. He might have all his Trinity. We've seen his tweets during the week. So they won't be at school today.
No, school's off today, luckily, being the weekend.
Hopefully no one got Saturday detention.
So that's going to be exciting. We're just seeing our next event on the track getting ready there. And here we are at some high jump action here, Lynchy. And this is getting into late in the piece here for... It's the under-14 women's high jump, and we see the athlete from New South Wales there.
Could be Tamisha Clark. Just trying to scrape over the bar. 168. Not sure what attempt that was. We did see a jump just before, but she is hugging her fellow New South Wales athlete. And it looks like that could be competition over. Now this session, this afternoon session, will lead into a short break, but we'll be back at around 6 p.m. to begin the final leg. This is a 3-by live stream relay.
It is. It's like a game of ice hockey, Lynchy. It's in thirds.
3 periods today. We're in the second.
That's right.
This is where the game is won or lost, I think.
And we might just... there's plenty of action up here at the southern end of the track. So we might just stick with some shots from up here. I can see some of our women's shot putters hurling out some big throws at the moment. Did I see Samantha Peace down there?
I think we might have. I did walk past earlier and she's down there, so...
And Alex Hulley. I saw her earlier with her competition gear and nameplate on. And she's one of the up-and-coming stars in the hammer ranks.
Doesn't she own a fair few Australian records? Good to see, maybe following in the footsteps of Bronwyn Eagles, who was a bronze medalist at the World Champs previously. So, also the holder of our Australian record.
The national record.
Yeah, that's
Lynchy,
right.
We've seen a national record fall today at this location. Maddie Denny.
That's right.
And I've got a sense that I think it might not be the last one that happens on this track or field today.
No, I would not put it past them. As you might see out in the middle, they're putting out the tape for the javelin. We've got two very, very talented under-18 javelin throwers who are launching it well over that 70-metre mark. So we could see some more big throws. We see a shot.
That's Tafiti from Queensland there, getting a good one out. The white flag up.
Up around that 14-metre mark.
Don't forget... we are doing our best to keep the live results coming at you. So jump onto athletics.com.au, follow the link there to results and live results. And Lynchy, we've seen a lot of people at home that have been sharing their setup with us, and you can too. Send us a photo via Twitter or Instagram, and the split screen seems to be the way to go.
That's right. Not sure what else is on. Actually, Australia's playing in the cricket today.
Well,
Australia versus Scotland.
They predicted a bit of rain down there in Tassie.
Oh, no.
So Aussies need to win that game. So, yeah, maybe... Well, we can keep a bit of an eye on that, but maybe if you're watching this, you give us a little update. But, yeah, as many screens as you like. That's the beauty of living in 2015, Lynchy. You can have your iPhone, your iPad, your smartphones, all these things going at once. You can have the big screen happening there at home. You might be at work, wherever it is.
That was me last week when you guys were in Brisbane. I was sitting at home. I had the Brisbane Track Classic on and the Roosters Cowboys game on TV. So, working the double channels.
And we encourage you to jump on board. You can use the hashtag AJAC15 and we'll do our best to get to responding to your tweets, and we might even be able to feature a couple of them. There's a couple there now I can see actually look pretty good. A couple of photos coming in. Someone playing the guitar while they're watching, Lynchy.
Interesting.
And the NCAA indoors happening at the very same time as this meet. That's over in America.
I did actually hear of a very, very fast performance at the NCAAs.
By an Aussie?
No, unfortunately not by an Aussie, but...
I don't want to hear about it.
Don't want to hear about it. That's okay.
Plenty of Aussies over there in the college system.
Definitely. There's a good chance. I know Morgan McDonald, an Australian representative at the World Juniors last year, has been in very good shape at the indoors, running some very fast 3Ks indoors. So hopefully he might be able to pick up a medal there.
Yeah, and here's those tweets. Oh, here we go. Melissa Breen. Has Melissa Breen missed a session yet, Lynchy? She's
been here every day.
A tweet come up there. Here we go. Awesome run by @Maddie B Department. Reese in the 800 metres, PB 156.8. There we go. Marissimo. And Mel Breen, she's got a vested interest in the performances of some of these athletes as she coaches down there as part of the Maddie B Department.
It's a big department down there.
The department's expanding. I hope they're getting the extension approvals that are required to house everyone in the department. But Mel Breen, she'll be taking to the track tonight, Lynchy, in the 100 metres and the 200 metres.
That's right. We just see a miss from the New South Wales athlete. First attempt at 171. Bar's getting up into some serious height there.
We spoke about maybe we should call it National Record Saturday.
Oh, it might end up being that way.
Mel Breen, Mel Breen in the 100. Well, she already holds it.
She certainly does.
Could she just lower it by a little bit more, make it harder to get?
Well, we've got some fast hundreds. The national record's 10:29 in the 100 from Matt Shervington. That's in the Australian juniors, under 20s. So we could see Trey and Rowan maybe give that a nudge. I'd love to see it. I've seen the boys, especially Rowan Browning on Instagram, using hashtag sub 10:30. So they're well aware of Shervo's mark there, Lynchy, and I think he's had it long enough, don't you? Well, they've all got another year after this year too, as we see the starters in the under-16 para 100 metres. That is Lush from Queensland getting the best start in the middle, closely followed by Ganini from ACT. Lush going to take line honours, but like we say before, this is a mixed classification para event. So we will see, you might notice a mix between the ambulant and wheelchair para athletes. And we'll wait for the medal ceremony to see who takes out the gold, silver and bronze. Great to see the sun shining here, Lynchy. It's pretty warm down on the track. I had some lunch earlier with some of our officials. They were saying that it was pretty warm out there early on. They deserved their lunch and their refreshments for drink. Their baguettes? Lunch, sorry, yeah, the baguettes. They're very tasty. What did you have today? I had a chicken schnitzel. I went to chicken schnitzel as well. Very tasty. It was very fine dining. So, but you couldn't ask for much better conditions for a track and field meet here today, Lynchy. And last year, do you remember, we had, just before the Sydney Track Classic started here at Sydney Olympic Park, we had that ginormous storm. That was pretty intense. We had that on Wednesday this week, so hopefully it's all sunshine and lollipops from here on in. Well, we definitely would hope so. What's the wind doing, Lynchy? We see it still blowing from the south. It's been that pattern for a little while. Just came up. It was minus 0.1 for that last race, but a test fire just then registered a minus 2.0, which would be severely disappointing. The camera is set up on the back straight, but I'm not sure how early they needed to make that call before running the athletes with the big tailwind down the back.
Yeah, a bit of a nightmare of a job, I guess, trying to make the appropriate calls. Great to see that the decision was made yesterday when it looked clear that the back straight would be favourable for the hurdles finals.
And it certainly did work out well. A lot of great performances.
And we're going to turn our attention here to the southern end of the ground. And we've got a meet record attempt here, Lynchy. We got excited yesterday when we saw a world record attempt, Nina Kennedy in the pole vault. But this, we're being told, is the New South Wales athlete, and we'll get her name very shortly. And under 14 girls high jump. Haven't the girls been high jumping out of their skins lately, Lynchy?
Certainly have. Let's see if we can get her over the bar. 171.
And it's Charlotte O'Brien. She's just surveying the bar here now.
Oh.
Her third attempt there, Lynchy.
Getting close, but congratulations, Charlotte O'Brien. Looks to take out that gold medal. The under-14 women's high jump, maybe trying to follow the footsteps of Chelsea Egginton.
Yes.
Who's another very talented under-14 high jumper. Now move up to the under-15s. But some great jumping there from those younger girls. You can see on the start list for the women's para-ambulant under-16 100-metre final. Those numbers after their name will denote what classification the athletes are.
So after this race, Lynch, we've got the under-20 men's and women's para 100-metre finals, and then, well, we're going to see the women under-20s 100-metre final, and then the men's after that. But here we go.
Erin Cleaver on the inside, getting the best of the starts. Ashley O'Keefe as well, but Erin Cleaver going to pull away in the pink and blue socks. Taking out line honours, followed by another athlete with the pink and blue socks, wearing the opposite socks. So obviously very good friends, those two, sharing socks and sharing the first and second positions.
Yeah, you're a man about your socks, Lynchy. You don't mind them at all.
I do. I've got some different socks on today. My, yeah, doggies. That's what they're called.
Sydney Olympic Park. Get into life.
Well, we're back here with live action, and look at this, Lynchy. We've just trawled a bit of Twitter, and Bella Smith at Bella_Smith03 watching the AJAC 15 and NCAA indoors at the same time, kind of like being at home with Mossy and Robbo, keeping us updated. How good's that? So they're watching in the States, Lynchy, and it's all about if you've got two MacBooks, well, line them up side by side and just...
Why not? Best of both worlds.
Feast. It's a smorgasbord of athletics here today. So, and we've got 9 hours of live coverage coming at you. This is the second session of 3, and the Sydney Track Classic coming up later on today, 6 p.m. local time here in Sydney. That will be 3 p.m. in the afternoon if you're in Perth.
That's correct. A lot of Perth viewers. They're probably the most vocal crowd that we know about as we're deep in
WA Heartland here in the grandstand. They've been cheering. I don't know whether it's just because we're the closest to them, Lynchy. I think they've been winning the overall cheering competition.
Definitely the loudest. I can guarantee that. It's getting amongst the beanbags.
They want to, yeah. There we go. Get amongst it, folks. AJAC 15. Great to have you on board. Thank you for tuning in wherever you're watching. It's an absolute privilege to be bringing this live and exclusive to you here this afternoon.
You can see the starters there in the men's under-20 para-ambulant 100-metre final. Christensen, Hendy, Davidson, Foote, Guild, Jennings, Bright and Jones. So a big field there. The athletes get into the blocks. Away pretty even, but the Queenslanders, they are really streaking away. And he's going to take line honours. Queensland to a late finishing Queenslander in the black socks. 11.68 as Daniel Jennings crosses the line, and Rowan Bright. Rowan Bright, just like his socks, very, very bright there.
Yeah, brightest socks of the competition. We might have to see if we can get the camera down on those socks again, Lynchy. They are outstanding. And they match the shoes there as well, the spikes.
He's done very well. Winning the award for most fashion-conscious athlete, I think, at the moment.
Yep.
Yes. There is the Queenslander taking line honours, 11.68, officially 11.67, plus 0.6, so that wind is positive. I like it.
Lined up.
Stay that way, and I will be very, very happy. Pretty standard weather conditions here at Homebush. Not sure what it's doing.
And there we go. Look at that. If you're Ollie Wurm, well, you have a lie down in the background, and that's the team. Look at that. VPA analysis. Pleased to bring you this exclusive live production.
Wurm and Mossy are resting up from their first session.
Well, they opened up today. They took the new ball, Lynchy, and here we are cashing in off their great start.
In the middle order, I feel a bit like Glenn Maxwell at the moment.
Seeing them like watermelons. Boys just edged them around a little bit early on. Took the shine off the new ball, and runs are coming thick and fast. But they'll get their chance to come back in later on.
Yeah, the tail end loops back around. It all comes full circle.
That's right. Little lull in the crowd here, Lynchy, just getting ready for the next final.
I certainly know what is coming up very shortly. The fastest men and women in the stadium. At the moment, I saw Jack Hale walking around the crowd because he knows that these boys are his competition.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be great. It's just unfortunate that we didn't work out to get Hale against these guys.
He did want to.
Yeah.
There was a bit of banter on Facebook. Ron Browning saying he was scared.
You're looking at the results there. Women's long jump. Well, you can read it.
Yeah, Catherine Mendez, Caitlin Blackman and Imogen Lang. Pretty close competition there. Only 14 centimetres between first and third. They received their medal from Mel Breen.
Very exciting for them, and a memory they'll surely treasure for a while. I'm looking forward to the women's senior long jump competition here for the Sydney Track Classic tonight. Brooke Stratton, she's flown in the last couple of days. She's here in Sydney, and Chelsea Yench as well.
Yeah, Jess Penny jumping a 650, 1 centimetre off her PB.
Fantastic.
So she's been getting up there, and they're all coming down to Sydney Olympic Park to jump big.
Yeah, it's good sand here.
Very good sand.
And we'll hopefully see some big jumps here this evening for the Sydney Track Classic. But staying with the action here on the track, and this will be the women's under-20 para final here. And in the background there, Lynchy, you can see that's the under-20 women. They're ready to go too. Some of them would have competed in the relays yesterday.
That is right.
So we'll bring up a start list for this race very shortly.
You might notice out in lane 7. Athlete from Tasmania in the pink spikes. Visually impaired athlete, so we'll have a running partner next to her. Tough work for the running partner. Need to run exactly opposite as they are attached with a band on their middle arms.
And you've got to be able to keep up, I guess,
that's
too,
right.
Lynchy.
You've got to be the leader. And a clean start there. New South Wales athlete on the inside starting well, but Queensland again smashing it in lane 2. I'm going to see the Queenslander take line on as 13.78 as our last finishes across the line. And a Victorian in lane 4. Congratulations. Big round of applause from the athletes.
Loving the high fives down there too, Lynchy.
There is Hal.
Great to see.
Taking the win. She also took line honours yesterday in the 400, Hal.
Yeah. Plenty of athletes doubling up with the medals this week, Lynchy.
Yeah, plenty of events available for these athletes. 13.77 officially for Howe from Queensland and 14.09 for the second place New South Wales athlete.
All right, well, and with the completion of that race there, Lynchy, that heralds the entrance of the fast women in the junior ranks of Australia.
That's right. We've got some good athletes in this. As you can see in the centre there, Sam Geddes, winner of the under-18s last year.
Youth Olympics, Lynchy.
Bronze medal, PB of 11.69. And then the tall, lanky athlete from Victoria in the blue socks, Maddie Coates, winner of the 200 last year, represented World Juniors in the 200, and was a very fast finishing athlete last year, but just not enough to beat Sam Geddes. So these two have a history. As you see, you might notice by the height, Sam Geddes is going to get out very, very fast, but watch for Maddie Coates to come loping down late in the race. It should be a race between the two in the middle.
Yeah, Coates prolific in the pro running circuit. Managed to be lucky enough to call some of her races at the Queanbeyan Gift late last year, and you'll see her pop up at a lot of the pro races down in Victoria.
Yeah, that's right. Sam Geddes, winner of the State Open Championship for New South Wales recently. So she is coming into some fine form on this track as well. Taking some very fast scalps there, beating Hayley Butler, Abby Tadeo.
Now, I'm sure you'll be able to find the meet record for us, Lynchy. No? Well, that's okay, but what I want to show you is the Australian under-20s record here. And do you remember Raylene Boyle?
Meet record is 11.64 from last year.
There we go, Hannah Bassick.
You might have seen that photo of Hannah Bassick cheering as she won it. She was very stoked.
I know she loves that photo.
She does.
She said it keeps haunting her.
But yes, Raylene Boyle. Now, isn't that a fast national record?
Oh, that's incredible. I'll tell you where she said it. Mexico City, 47 years ago, in October 1968. So, Raylene Boyle. And she was only, you would have to say, because she set the under-18 record at the same time.
So she was 17. I was going to say, because she had a long career. Pretty sure she ran in Brisbane in 82, so that's a long career.
Raylene Boyle, if you're watching the stream, might have to ring in.
Only a few athletes have actually ran faster than that in their entire career, and she did it when she was 17.
She might be in the crowd here, just...
of course she is.
Just making sure that the record doesn't get touched up.
They know when their records are in doubt. They always turn up.
I know. You know how they know? Ollie Wurm tweets them. Something goes off. It's like this little buzzer. Someone hits the button.
Oh, my record.
Your record's under threat. Someone's having a crack. Like Nina Kennedy yesterday. Angela Bengtsson from Sweden. She knew all about it because we informed her on Twitter. And but look at this. Geddes and Coates, well, you'd have to say you think those two will be where our winner will come from, but don't discount the runners outside of them as well. This is going to be a great one. And coming up straight after this, Lynchy, the men's under-20 final.
That's right. So we've got long jumper, Audrey Kiriakou in one, Sarah Blizzard, Kyla King, Maddie Coates, Sam Geddes, Brooke Summerfield, Katie Smee and Gabriella O'Grady. So it's a New South Wales, Victoria, New Zealand 4x1 as we pan across the starters. Like we did mention before, lane 6, Sam Geddes, look for her to get the best of the starts. And Maddie Coates to come home strong and fast. Sun is shining Wind nice and still.
I think I heard Ollie Wurm predicting Maddie Coates for the win in this one.
Oh, is that Victorian bias?
Latent Victorian.
Oh, well, we did mention that, yes. Watch for her storming late, but watch for Sam Geddes to be storming early. Clean start there. Sam Geddes getting away very, very fast. Maddie Coates is going to have a lot of work to do. Summerfield on her inside. Coates is coming hard, but Sam Geddes is going to hold on and run 11.96 minus 1.9. That is an absolute shame of a headwind. What a disappointing headwind.
But you didn't say another SH word there, Lynchy.
Good running.
Yeah, great running there. Look, you'd have to say Maddie Coates, if she could just get that start a little bit better organised there, she would have had that in the bag.
Tough to unravel those legs, though, out of the blocks.
Yep.
Whereas a very different shape to Sam Geddes. So that's probably why Maddie does specialise over those 200-metre races a little bit more. But Sam's been working on her speed endurance and, as you noticed, really held on. Got that lead in the first 20 and kept on with it.
So Sam Geddes.
Official results, Kyla King from New South Wales picking up the bronze medal. 12.22, Maddie Coates, 12.13. And Sam Geddes is your national under-20 champion, 11.94 minus 1.9.
So New South Wales getting the gold medal there from Victoria, and a bronze for New South Wales there as well. But coming up next, starting to loosen up here, Lynchy. This is the men's under-20s 100-metre final. And we're just waiting for that wind to turn around before they get going on this one.
Let's hope it does.
You work for Athletics New South Wales these days. You can control the conditions here, can't you? Flick the switch.
I wish I could. Wish we could just rotate the track like a big record. Just spin it around. That would be the dream. But let's go through our qualified finalists in qualifying time order. Rowan Browning running the fastest at 10.62. Trey Williams 10.63. Christopher Matrevsky, long jumper, finishing with a silver medal in the under-20 behind Shemaiah James, 10.69. Calvin Borowski from WA, 10.70. He was in the final last year behind Josh Clark. So he's been in this position before. Jacob Despard, third in that final last year, 10.76, went to World Juniors. Michael Conamunyi, 10.80. He was bronze medalist at the New South Wales Open Champs. Nick Andrew won the hurdles yesterday. And another Victorian, Michael Hansford, rounding it out, 10.80. Needing to run very, very fast just to make it into this final.
And the boys getting some good conditions this morning. Lynchy, Rowan Browning getting a 1.4 tailwind. Trey Williams a 1.1. They'd take that now if it was offered to them.
Wouldn't they? I think these conditions would suit Trey. Smaller, stockier frame. He's going to get out early.
I was just going to say, will we see a bit of a repeat from the women's race there with Geddes? Her smaller, stockier frame. It's very similar to Trey Williams. Geez, he came out of the blocks like a bullet up there in Brisbane just last week when he won his first senior race at the Queensland Track Classic.
That was a world-class 60 metres. I would love to see some biomechanical splits on that, but I'll put that up there with one of the fastest 60-metre races I've seen from an under-20 athlete.
And you can see there Matrevsky, the Victorian, keeping the New South Wales and Queenslander apart at this point.
Rowan Browning checking the win there. I think it's a tailwind, Rowan. We'll see what's going on. Actually, those flags at the moment, it looks like quite a strong headwind. That is a bit of a bummer. But watch for Rowan Browning. Has an excellent transition. Watch for him to really make his move from that 30 to 40 metre mark. And we've got a headband wearer in lane one. Nick Andrews, he was a winner.
Yeah, don't rule him out, Lynchy.
In the hurdles yesterday.
Don't rule him out.
I feel like he's been told to go home. Everyone's walking off. Maybe we're a bit early.
Just got 10 minutes out, boys. Someone's checked the weather.
Yeah, boys, it's a headwind, so chill out here. Watch Trey have a practice start. And look at the size of those quads.
Yeah.
Tray Station 4, as he's known.
Tray Station 4. Well, we'll see him have a bit of fun and games out here very shortly.
If he's a Tray Station 4, it makes me feel like I'm an Atari.
Here's a little update in the women's under-18s shot put. And this will be handing out the medals here, Lynchy. And Grace Robinson from New South Wales. Well, she'll take the gold in 16-metre throw there.
Not a bad shot. We had no athletes qualify for the World Youth, but she was pretty close. 16.52 was the qualifier, so she was getting up there. And New South Wales getting the bronze and the gold, separated by Julia Burke from Victoria.
Browning still just throwing that bit of grass up in the air, hoping it'll go in.
Turn around, he's like, I wish, can you please go forwards?
He was blowing it, I think. He was.
Now, you might notice Trey and Rowan on the start list for the Sydney Track Classic 100 metres tonight. So these boys might be getting a gig later on at about 8:30 tonight. So I think if they find it's a bit of a headwind in this race, they might stick around and get a chance to run against the big guns. But watch for Chris Matrevsky, just like the other Victorian, to come home hard and fast. Not sure what's holding up the race here. Boys getting total. Is that another headband coming on?
He's just gone and grabbed it.
Michael Hansford from Victoria. That's headband. Rowan Browning does have a headband. Is he sporting one?
I don't think so today.
Nah.
He's gone, I won't need my headband, boys. But yeah, some... So we're not too far away from a start. Just tending to a little situation out in the infield. That's all been sorted now. And I believe we should be right to get away with a start here in the men's under-20s final very shortly. Lynchy, just recapping again, we've got the national record here. 10.29, a bloke named Matt Shervington. And g'day, Sherva, I'm sure he's watching at the moment between ad breaks in his duties as a Fox Sports presenter.
Looks like he shares that record, as we have a hand-timed record from Paul Narracott, 10.00 from all the way back in 1978.
And meet record, Lynchy, I'm interested to see what we've got there. That
meet record last year, Joshua Clark,
all right.
10.34. I had the pleasure to call that.
And we'll see...
tearing his hemi about 15, 20 metres from the finish line.
I do recall that.
I had to keep my exclamations PG, as that was a ridiculous race. Kind of the same conditions here last year, a bit cloudy, but, a +2. I do like that.
Let's get them on.
That's why they were waiting. That's why they were waiting. I said,
look,
boys...
That disruption on the infield, that could be a blessing. It was really gusty there a moment ago when they were about to start.
Check that grass there, Rowan.
And now we've got the tail.
Here we go. Start them now, guys.
Let's go.
Quick. Trey checking the wind there. Yeah, and a bit of breakdancing as well. To Chet Faker, blasting over the loudspeakers.
Look at that.
As we go across.
Focus on
Andrews,
Browning's face.
Hansford, Browning, Matrevsky, Williams, Borowski, Despard, and Connor Munye saluting.
Oh, look at that.
To the rest of the field there.
I love the salute.
New South Wales well represented here. Meet record 10.34. National record 10.29.
Let's knock them both over.
Yeah. Both boys equal first, 10.28. Everyone's happy.
Well, don't know if you can detect it, but we are very excited up here in the commentary box.
This is like Christmas.
This isn't the last race for Browning and Williams today. They'll be back out here for the Sydney Track Classic.
It's a big day. They ran at 9 a.m, so they could be running 12 hours apart, as the 100 final will be around 8:30.
Here's what they wanted to do. They wanted to feature in every session of the live stream.
They did.
They nailed it.
Feels like us. Should we swap and me and you will run in the Sydney Track Classic and they can call it?
Have a rest, boys. Exactly.
Yeah, we'll call it.
I'll wear the headband from lane 1.
I've got some splitties in the car, I think.
So strap yourself in. This is going to be explosive from the gun.
All eyes are pointing down the track.
There's that hush in the crowd, Lynchy.
And Trey Williams getting a good start, but Rowan Browning not too far behind. Trey is really starting to pull away, and I think Trey Williams is going to come out. Michael Conamani on the inside, but Trey Williams 10.48 minus 0.2. I think Conamani snuck up there for the silver, and Rowan Browning may have held on for the bronze, minus 0.2.
Well, there you go. Trey Williams taking another win there.
The start is too powerful. He was the winner in the under-18s last year. So good to see him backing it up, just like Sam Geddes. And you can see the chunky thighs of Trey Williams.
Throwing the headband on the hip there, post-race. Is that the new look? Is that what the kids are doing now? I've got to keep up with them. Yeah, great race there. Well done, Trey Williams.
Just too powerful.
And there you go. Wind there, Lynchy.
Minus 0.2, so not too bad conditions. Wouldn't have felt like too much. But I think still waiting for the results. Conamani looked like he got up for the silver on the outside. And Browning, I think, may have held on for the bronze.
We see there, it's the hotel.
It's where we've been staying. Great view of the athletics from the hotel as well.
Yeah, you can almost just stay in your room and enjoy all the action, but we urge you to come out here, folks, and get yourself a seat because they will fill up today. I'm convinced, Lynchy, this is going to be the biggest crowd we've seen at a Sydney Track Classic tonight in 10 years.
Oh, what a call.
The only thing that'll slowing it down will be the quality of the live stream and people debating whether they want to come out here.
So should we really lower our quality so they will turn up so they don't have to listen to us?
Possibly. We've got that option.
There it is. Official results did flash up on the screen for a second.
We'll get them back in a sec.
10.47 officially for Trey. Conamani in second and Ron Browning in third. I think I may have 74 for Browning and a possible 62 for Conamani. We'll just wait for those to come up. We might be keeping an eye on this javelin too, as we have two athletes vying for World Youth starts.
Wow, look at that one, Lynchy. Whoa, goodness me.
That's only the warm-up throws.
That is a sign of things to come.
That looks like Cameron McIntyre.
Get that one to stab into the ground. Watch out. This is where the officials have got to be on their game here because the jabs are just flying like a battle zone.
69.10 is the World Youth qualifier. Cameron McIntyre and Connor Warren have 3 and 2 qualifiers each. Connor Warren with a 77.18 to his name. And Cameron McIntyre 73.39. So
this is going to be big, Lynchy.
I think they might have to get rid of that little plastic tape from the hammer throw earlier because they might be hitting that.
Tell you what we should do is go out there and put our Colombian flag in the ground at about, 75 metres and say, hit this, boys.
Why don't we see what that meet record? Oh, no.
Then Hamish Peacock.
Hamish Peacock, 76.23. That actually could be under threat today. National record 77.78, Josh Robinson, so that also could be under threat.
Well, I'll tell you what, Hamish is competing tonight in the Sydney Track Classic. Wouldn't surprise me if he comes out here to just see how his record is faring because... I
did see him at the track yesterday. He's been lurking around.
He'll be a little nervous.
The Tasmanians almost as vocal as the West Australians.
And next up on the track is the men's 800 metres, under 14s. This is a final here, Lynchy. And as you can see, the start list, Coach Sears, Jansen van Rensburg, Webb, Little Beer, Anderson and Kolar. And a good mix of the states in this one too. Lynchy, New South Wales, watch for them in the middle. Queensland, lane 5. West Australia, lane 4. 2 laps. And they're just about... Did I hear a set there?
I think they were just testing the speakers, because I don't think anyone was ready. Surprise!
Set, go. So we should get confirmation just of those final times there, Lynchy. Remember, you can jump on to live results, athletics.com.au. And if it needs another shovel of coal to keep them going, just bear with us, folks. Here we go, they're up. Beautiful.
Here it is, Trey Williams, 10.47. Connor Munye, 62. Browning, 74. Matrevsky, 77. Borowski, 79. Despard, 87. Nick Andrews, 10.90. And Michael Hansford, 10.94. Using the inside camera. So if you check out, you can have a look at the photo finish. It looks like they ran backwards, but they were using the inside camera for that race. Oh, the gun works.
They're getting jumpy, these boys. Is that for real?
I'm just glad someone didn't start running. So from the inside, Jack Coates, Ty Sears, Rensburg, Jansen Van. I think it's Jansen Van. Let's have a look. Daniel Webb, Morgan Little, Angus Beer, Spencer Anderson and Liam Kohler. And you might check in your top left-hand side of your screen. We have a clock. So you can keep up to pace with these boys. Maybe grab yourself some splits. See what they're going through in 2, 4 and 600 metres as they make their way to the finish line in the men's under 14 800 final at the Australian Junior Athletics Championships down here at Sydney Olympic Park. We're underway in the final, the under-14s. And on the outside, looks like Angus Beer getting the best of the start, followed by Morgan Little. The 2 Western Australian athletes on their inside. Looks like Jaco Jansen van Rensburg moving into second place. But Angus Beer really getting a good start here. 5 metres in front, going around 27 seconds. Jansen van Rensburg there in second position as they come down with 100 metres left of the first lap to greet the bell. Jansen van Rensburg really getting up nice and close to Angus Beer here, and the other West Australian also running well, Ty Sears, but it's Angus Beer, Jansen van Rensburg, and Ty Sears in third position.
Going through and just a bit under 61 there, Lynchy. So here we go. Let's see what they can do second lap here.
It's a real David and Goliath battle here. Angus Beer, tall, under 14 athlete, and the smaller statured West Australian. The boys just running hard from the gun, really stretching the field out. Almost like an 800-metre time trial as they go through in 93 seconds for 600 metres. Angus Beer, can he hold on? He's got about a 15-metre lead there from Jansen van Rensburg. And almost a 30 to 40-metre gap back to third position. It looks like the West Australians getting up for Jaco, but Angus Beer, 20-metre lead. He is going to take out the under-14 men's 800-metre championship And a very slick time, 2:05. Big battle between Jaco Jansen van Rensburg taking second and the athlete from lane 9, Liam Kolar, getting the bronze. Unofficially 2:06.93 for Angus Beer.
Yeah, well done there, Angus Beer. And coming out next, we'll see very shortly, it will be the women's under 14 800-metre final. And then we'll be transitioning, Lynchy, over to the back straight there for some 200-metre finals.
Oh, I like 200s.
So, following this next race, we're going to have the under-15s, under-16s, men's and women's. So the women first, finals of the 200 metres, then the 400-metre hurdles come out, the women and the men. And we're going to have a close look at this javelin competition going on too, Lynchy, because I've got a feeling we might see something very exciting happening as that one unfolds.
Oh, definitely. Let's go through the starters. We got Kyla Cook, Elijah Dale, Callum Dean, George Pharmakidis, Luke Giacca, Mitchell Horner, Zachariah McDonald, Cameron McIntyre, James McFadden, Charles Seppelt and Connor Warren. We want to keep an eye out on the New South Wales athlete Cameron McIntyre and the Queenslander Connor Warren.
Yeah, that's going to be very exciting. But on the track now, you're seeing the field in the women's under 14 800-metre final. And let's see how quick these girls can go. Where will the medals come from? West Australia there in lane 6. We'll hear plenty of cheering for her.
They'll be vocal.
And we can see our start list up there at the moment. And it'll be Klein from New South Wales, from Ryan, also New South Wales. Rutherford from Queensland. Saw her in fine form previously at the champs. Lynchy, Macagini, Victorian, Madison Good, that is. Bib number 6, Leven, Litchford and Ellie Ryan there, the Queenslander in lane 9. Two minutes and 8 seconds. The meet record held by Georgie Clark, and she could run too.
Absolutely ridiculous.
2:08 would have won you many of the track classic races so far this year.
Yeah, Georgie Clark actually went to the Sydney Olympics at 16, 2 years later, so very talented athlete.
She's probably here as well.
Oh, definitely. Queenslander on the inside.
They call it
Ellie Rutherford.
They declare it on their tax as record management.
Just having a trip.
Yep.
And it looks like the WA Victorian athlete, but Ella Rutherford is going to lead the field through the first 200 metres. Same tactics as the boys. Hard from the gun. And let's see if she can replicate what Angus Beer did and lead all the way from the start. So we're starting to see a group of 3 athletes separating themselves from the rest of the field here. As we get a closer look when they come down into the home straight to grab the bell. Elle Rutherford from Queensland. Gigi McAnini in second place. And Georgia Lavin holding on for third. But McAnini right on the tail of Rutherford. It's Queensland, Victoria at the moment. It looks like the medals are going to be decided between these 3 athletes as they come around to the back straight for the last time. 300 metres left. They look like they're starting to wind it up a little bit. Rutherford still in the lead. Rutherford and Macaginini pulling away from Laven. And a big, big gap back to 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th. They come around 1:37 for 600 metres. And they're going to start turning it on. Make their way around into the straight for the last time. Macaginini coming around, starting to kick with 1:20 to go. And she's found herself in the lead, running right past Rutherford, the Queenslander. She cannot respond, and the Victorian Macaginini is going to take the victory. A good fast finish from Lavin there, closing on Rutherford. But it won't have enough. Macaginini is going to take it out. 2:12.87. Rutherford in second and Lavin in third. Actually not too far away from that meet record. 2:12.87. It's a very smart time for a 13-year-old.
Yeah, Georgie Clark, she would have been forgiven for being a little bit nervous there.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't put it past her if her popcorn was shaking while she was watching the race.
Yeah, that's right.
hot weather out there for these girls running an 800. I know it's getting a bit steamy up here in the head.
Box.
Yeah.
Well, that's just in response to your enthusiasm for that men's and women's 100 metres under 20s final.
That's exactly right.
Now,
they did heat up the track.
Men's under 18 javelin throw. Now that event, it was held up there for a little while, Lynchy. So we're running approximately half an hour behind, it appears, on that one. I don't think they've had a throw in anger yet.
Just a couple of good warm-ups, and not sure about the direction. It looks like the wind is pretty still as we see a Queenslander clear the bar. That is the under 17 women's high jump final. 150 first attempt.
And we're likely to see a great show of high jumping in that comp there too, Lynchy.
If you have a look at who owns the meet record and national record.
Yeah, well, Eleanor Patterson from Leongatha, and gold medalist in the Commonwealth Games. Glasgow, but 1.83 metres is the meet record. 1.96 is her national record.
I was lucky enough to be up there in Cairns when she jumped that 1.96, and in Townsville. She just lit up the town. I think they gave her the keys to the city afterwards.
We'll just look at the starters there for that event today. So we've got Madison Alexander, Tegan Barclay, Olivia Cara, Marnie Clarkson, Ruby Cordner, Amy Coulston, Kayla Cuba, Emma Sue Greentree. Now she's from up in at the Hunter region.
Ah, excellent.
I've seen Emma Sue. She had a crack at the Hunter Track Classic earlier this year. One of the many multi-athletes doing well up there. Olivia Jones, Shannon Nutt, Cara Olsen, Magella Pearl, Lexi Stoner, Celeste Sulazki, and Olivia Thomas, Sophie Tiver. So on paper there, Lynchy, we're looking down at the seed marks that we've been supplied with, and Maddie Alexander from Victoria, a 172. Cara Olsen from Victoria, also 171. And there's a few no height in there as well. They're always the ones to be a bit wary of.
Yeah, maybe they're doing a bit of foxing. It's like, I'm not going to put down how high I can jump.
So bar at 155. And we'll see how that progresses there. All these girls, or the majority of them, over half the field, I'd say, Lynchy, over 165.
So we could be getting close to the business end.
All
we'll
right.
see a couple of more warm-up throws in the jav.
And we've got a little chance to look down at our medal ceremony here, down in the front of the stand. And this is the men's under 20s 100 metres. There they go. And Trey Williams, the Adidas replay.
Medals presented by Melissa Breen. She's been in that position before in the women's under 20s. Trey Williams taking it out in front of the two New South Welshmen, Connor Munye and Browning.
So stick around, folks. We're here riding this all the way through till 4:30 Sydney time. So we've got 2 more hours of this second session, Lynchy.
Yes.
And
yes.
if you like your track and field, folks, this is the channel to be on. YouTube.com/@Ost, and you're already there if you're watching this.
I love my track and field.
Tell all your mates. Tell them. I don't know. Are they having a rain break in the cricket? Well, they possibly are. Jump over and check out the athletics, the live stream. Have you seen the live stream, they're saying?
It looks like we're 2 matches in the cricket. Scotland are batting.
Well,
so it looks like Michael Clark has won the toss. Thinks that due to the rain that's threatening later, he might send them in to bat.
Interesting little fact there, Lynchy. I actually lived in Edinburgh for 3 years and played cricket for the club called Carlton in Edinburgh, and played alongside and against a couple of the Scottish players here, Ali Evans being one of them.
Excellent.
Fast bowler, so yeah. That was a bit of fun, but today it's the athletics, so...
Oh, well, we could talk about Mitchell Stark then.
Well, why not?
His younger brother's going to be high jumping as we see the bar get put back on. Brandon Stark up against some very talented high jumpers.
And if you go back and watch last year's stream, Lynchy, I think it might have been on this day 4. Brandon Stark, bit of commentary.
He did. He joined me down in the athlete super fun zone. We commentated Joel Baden. And just think, almost less than a year after that, Joel Baden actually jumped higher than Stark has, jumping to 229.
Yeah, Stark will be hungry to get something big on the board. We've got some high jumping royalty joining us today, later on in the Sydney Track Classic.
Don't we? He's in a rare club.
A 240 club.
Yeah, not many athletes are up in that. That is rare air.
You look at that bar there, that's 155. Well, close to another metre higher than that. These guys are flinging them over. That's Derek Drouin.
Derek Drouin from Canada.
And he has a sensational record. Men's high jump globally, Lynch, is very, very, very exciting at the moment. And I think our Aussie stocks, there's plenty to like about that as well.
Yeah, exactly. I think we've got some very, very talented and young high jumpers making their way. See a West Australian athlete clear at 155.
Now, we're going to be turning our attention to the 200-metre start line fairly shortly, because we're going to have our first final there. It'll be the under-15 women. But going on at the same time, we have from the northern end the men's javelin competition, the under-18s. And this is for a spot on the plane to Cali in Colombia.
And if any of those warm-up throws, if they're anything to go by, that mark of 69.10 easily under threat.
They look like they've got a gentle wind behind them now. That wind looks to be a bit more consistently turning around, judging by some of the flags we can see. Where is the official?
I might actually be nervous if I was a high jumper.
Well, the wind's dead. You can see the red flag there at the high jump.
That is a flaccid sock.
It's completely dead, hanging down. But the javelin sock, well, there you go. It's heading a little bit towards the east there, Lynchy.
Well, I hope they brought their tailwind javelins.
So
if that's an easterly, that's actually pretty good conditions for a 200.
Yes.
They might get a little bit of a... we can get really, really good 200-metre conditions here at a Sydney Olympic Park Athletic Centre. As you see a Queenslander just knocking it off.
All right. Well, we've got the women's 200 metres for under 15s, and we should see them getting underway very shortly.
From the tall Dakota Thomas from New South Wales, as they start to make their way around the bend, quite even between the inside 6 lanes. But it looks like T McPherson's going to come off the bend, but Dakota Thomas striding out in the long black socks. It's going to take a lot to beat her from here. Sarah Dugan and Isabella Lockhart are going to take 1, 2, 3, and that is New South Wales trifecta. 24.81 for Dakota Thomas. 0.8 tailwind. Great bend there from T McPherson on the outside, but Dakota Thomas just too strong.
And again, a couple of products from the Hunter region. Lynchy up there at Lake Macquarie, and Dakota Thomas. Well, she's already been amongst the medals already this week and coming home there in gold medal position.
I've actually seen her perform in the shot put at juniors and taking medals as well.
Yeah, look, she's hails from a very talented and sporting family. And it doesn't appear to be much she can't do in the athletics scene, Lynchy.
That is correct. New South Wales going 1, 2, 3.
And 4.
And 4.
I think so.
4 starters, first 4 positions.
McPherson came in with 4th there in the end after her great start.
Up next on the track, we'll have the women's under 16 200-metre finalist. And going down through the fastest qualifiers of the field, Maisie Stevens, Ella Squires, Katie Devitt, Ella Connolly, Jessie Andrews, Sienna Figuera, Riley Day and Chloe Mannix-Power. So 3 New South Wales athletes, 2 Queenslanders and 3 Victorians.
still just heating up there in the women's high jump competition there, Lynchy. That's the under-17 women's high jump.
A few athletes just sorting themselves out there as we see.
All right.
That was Cameron McIntyre already getting one well over the 69.10 metre mark in javelin. That's only the first round. And 1, 2, 3 more, 2 more New South Wales athletes before we get to Connor Warren, if our start lists are anything to go by. But on the track now, the start is the under-16 women's. And we're underway. Fast start there from Katie Devitt. And the Queensland on the inside, Ella Connolly running very, very quickly as they come down into the straight. Maisie Stevens, the New South Welshman, on the outside, looks to be in the lead. And we're going to see a battle between her and Katie Devitt on her inside. Fast finishing Queensland in lane 3. It's going to be a dip. And it looks like Queensland has taken it out. Great finish there from the Queenslander. Riley Day, Ella Connolly and Maisie Stevens.
It's all right. It's all right.
The next Queenslander will be the big throw. There's another New South Wales athlete and then a Queenslander.
Now, Lynchy, I can tell you there, first attempt for Cameron McIntyre, 72 metres and 60 centimetres, and that is another one of his World Youth qualifiers to add to the list.
Getting up there close to his PB he threw last weekend. I was actually out there. He was the only competitor in his age group. So you need 3 competitors in your age group. So we found some guys from the crowd to give him a hand and throw a jab so we could get one on the board. But it doesn't look like their start list is anything like ours at the moment. So we're going to keep an eye out for Connor Warren from Queensland. When we see a Queensland athlete get out there, we will let you know. There's only a couple out there.
All right, well, I'll tell you what, Lynchy, Hamish Peacock, he'll be getting a little nervous because his meet record of 76.23 metres.
I don't know if these officials realise that they might need to get rid of some of this tape and plastic things that are out there from left over from the hammer throw, because they're going to get under threat to get stabbed.
Yes, we might get a message to competitions manager, because that wouldn't be good if that the orange tape, what would you call that, Lynchy? The thing you wind the tape
the
up
roller.
with? The roller. If that comes into play there, because that's we've already seen one go past that mark.
Exactly, and it actually landed pretty close to it.
Andrew,
maybe the boys having a little bit of a bet, whoever gets closest.
Who can hit it?
Yeah, 20 pesos on it.
Well, if they're going to keep it there, let me go out and put the Colombian flag in it. Then we can all have a good, gauge of how far these guys have to throw to get on the plane.
A little bit of precision jab. Why don't we put the flag out at the meet record?
Oh, let's do that too. Let's get...
Let's see a Victorian lining up.
Apparently they'll have flamethrowers out there tonight, Lynchy.
Oh, and I heard...
throw it through the flames.
Fireworks, everything. Confetti cannons.
A blimp.
A blimp.
Yeah, we're going to throw Ollie Wurm up in the blimp at some point.
Please don't jab down the blimp.
The Adidas blimp.
Or do you get bonus points?
Yeah. Could be nasty. So Victorian athlete coming up here now. Could be Callum Dean. We'll see. I think it is Callum Dean there. By the look of his approach there, the right-handed Victorian.
Just getting it probably a little bit too high.
This is interesting, isn't there? You can see the range of throws coming in through here. The officials don't know whether to come in or come out. They'll get a bit of a gauge here.
It is after the first few rounds. I have been the collector and the marker, and it's probably the easiest event to mark when the javelin just sticks in there. And I would have to say, discus would be the hardest.
The hammer was pretty good with the soft ground. We saw that yesterday, Big Ned Weatherly.
That could be Connor Warren. Definitely Connor Warren. So it looks like we've got an eye on our Mark's watch for this one. He has a PB of 77, which is past the meet record and nudging the national record.
Just that last throw there, Lynchy just getting out over 43 metres, 43.45.
But I think the crowds I don't think the officials are ready for this. They're standing close. This is going to go over your heads, guys.
Here we go.
Boom.
The rainbow javelin. Here it comes. And there it is, just short of the yellow line.
I think he's just testing the air up out there. It might have been a little bit too high.
And I can tell you now that windsock's just filled up a little bit. It's now blowing a little bit towards the north. So they're just coming into a slight headwind there.
Yeah, the last 200 was a minus 0.8.
And it's very exciting.
Around 67.40 for Connor Warren. So Cameron McIntyre in the lead.
Yeah, you'd think he's in pole position here.
He is at the front of the line to get his ticket to Cali at the moment, but it's only first round. 5 more throws for the boys. There are 11 starters in the field, so top 8 will get another 3 throws later on.
67.42 for that one, Lynchy.
So getting close to the line.
The line is at 69.10, and that's the World Youth Champs qualifier. As we see our next Queensland athlete coming in here now. And that's a good low hard
chuck as well.
Good low hard chuck. That'll mark.
Deep in the turf out there.
55. I remember my days as a regional level javelin thrower, Lynchy, up there on the north coast of New South Wales. And back in those days, just...
A few good javelin throwers from up that way.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. But, yeah, always loved seeing it get some part of the tip stabbing into the ground, because without that, unfortunately, it's game over.
Yeah, not only does it have to land, but it has to land the right way as well. So a little bit trickier than the shot put. That would be hard if it had to land on a certain part of the shot put. Not sure how they would do that.
All right. And we're sticking with the men's javelin here.
A couple of New South Wales athletes out there. Looks like we've got 4.
That last throw looks to be, it's paying out now. So you can collect the information, and it looks like it got out over just under 55.
Split screen here from the north and south ends. Victoria in the high jump, New South Wales in the jav.
54.95 for that last throw there for the Queenslander. Now New South Wales launches this one, and that'll sit out there. 45-ish, bit under, I'd say. So this is still, well, as far as we know, Lynchy, we think this is still the opening round. And we've got a race brewing up there on the back. We're going to have a look at the scoreboard and get our lists up here now. This is the men's under 15s, 200 metres. And there we go. It'll be Jones from Illes, Leferink, Nikatia, Davis, Marbia, Rajakovic, and James Roach. I wonder if he's any relation to Steve Roach.
Well,
blocker.
I think he might be.
Yeah, I would expect he would be. Steve Roach, a former legend of rugby league, you'd have to say, the Balmain Tiger. They were my team growing up, Lynchy.
Oh, well, wouldn't they? Paul Sirenen.
Big fan of blocker.
But let's get on to this race. Keep an eye out on the Victorians, Junior Marbia and Aaron Leferink. And they're away. Leferink having a good start. Nikita from the ACT going past Davis from the ACT. But Marbia on the outside having a good bend. It's going to be the 3 in the middle, Leferink, Nikita and Marbia. And who's going to be the strongest? The other ACT athlete, Davis, coming home strong. And it could be a photo finish. I don't know. I think Davis.
ACT.
Davis from Leferink from Marbia. 23.19 minus 0.3. And ACT grabbed themselves a gold medal. And stoked. Look at that. High-fiving the South Australian athlete, Blake Jones. Not the best bend from him, but really when he hit top speed, he cruised past the other athletes and timed it to perfection.
Yeah, did the business there. So Lawrence Davis from the ACT, he came in as the 3rd ranked finalist after the heats, and he's done everything he needs to do there to secure the gold medal in the ACT.
That's right. Junior Marbia and Aaron Leferink were the top 2. So he's decided to flip it and take out the gold medal. There it is, official times. 23.18, 23.23, 23.26. So good running there. And a nice clearance, 160. ACT on the high jump as well. What a dream day.
Yeah, it happens a bit like that sometimes, Lynchy. the states they get up and they feed off that energy and they lift as a state. Now, I use the word state. Obviously, we're talking about the ACT, which is clearly a territory.
Might have to talk to them about holding a state champs.
Yeah, look, that's one thing that does irk me a little bit.
We might be able to catch an Adidas replay of the under-15 200-metre final.
Lynch, you can feel one brewing. And here we go, Adidas replay.
Now look where Lawrence Davis is. He's in 4th position there as they come off their bend, but really fighting hard in the last few metres and just dipping at the end.
It'd be fair to say it wasn't pretty.
No, he was fighting though.
Guts and determination got him there.
He was hungry for that medal. And it worked out.
Now, Lynchy, I can tell you in that men's under-18s javelin throw, well, just ticked over to the second round, and we'll keep our eye on that one closely because our leader so far with a throw of 72.6 metres is Cameron McIntyre. He'll be in the New South Wales colours, and the order has him throwing very early here. In fact, I can already see he's got the jab in his hand. So he expect to see him unleashing. He may even be next as he makes his way around. The blonde-headed New South Welshman.
Yeah, I was out there to help him out last week and had a 75-metre foul last week. We put a few extra marks out there just to remeasure those throws. He said his coach told us. He's there.
A great shot of the officials retreating.
This is for our benefit when the officials start walking a long way back.
March them back, sir. March them back a good 40 metres.
Offside.
All right, we're going to keep. We're going to stick with this throw here. This is
not your typical body shape for a javelin thrower.
It looks like he could just come off the 400 metres. But here we go, Cameron McIntyre, attempt number 2, and he let through.
Strong arm.
Good release.
Here it
and say goodbye to the yellow line because that is mega from McIntyre and Lynchy. We're going to have a very close look at where this one adds up to be because his first throw of 72.60.
Oh, no.
Is there a red flag? They're not measuring that one. Well, that's a shame if it was a foul.
Oh, are they measuring it? Doing something with the board?
FOUL.
Oh, they're just clearing it.
Yeah, I think so. So, yeah. But there you go. You just spoke about big fouls. Well, that was a big one. And again, right very close to that orange tape. Well, I think someone's cottoned onto it now because we've got an official.
Well, there actually might be an event coming out of that discus. So
this could be interesting.
I don't want to be an official in this competition.
When you've got under 18-year-olds throwing 75 metres, it becomes a bit of an occupational health and safety risk here.
Yeah, I actually... No, yep. Good place to stand.
Good.
Right at the 69-metre mark when the jabs and the discuses and the hammers are flying. We need some helmets out there for these guys.
I'd be putting the bulletproof vest on, Lynchy, the javelin-proof vest. I'd be arming right up. Pair of cricket pads at least. Don't want to cop one in the shin. Very exciting scenes here in the men's under-18s javelin. And we'll keep an eye out. Connor Warren's the next one. We'll look closely at the Queenslander.
I think he's 2 up. We've got the West Australian athlete, I think, followed by a Victorian, and then Connor Warren.
And Connor Warren with the bigger PB, Lynchy, 77.18. He's thrown in Brisbane. Got
to get it done on the day, though.
A couple of weeks ago.
Good clearance there from the West Australian. She's happy. Shout out to her fans on the hill.
And the commentary team.
Yep, thank you. 160.
And we've got our next lineup here. This is very exciting. This is the men's under-16s 200-metre final.
Now, personally, I think the gold medal is already sewn up.
And I can guess who you are giving that to already, Lynchy. I look at the West Australian athlete there, James Gallagher. Am I right?
You would be correct. I'm not sure when the last time he lost a race is. He was in the relay. That's probably the last time he lost a race on Thursday night. But individually, I don't think he's lost in an age race at all. He got a gig at the Perth Track Classic, running against the likes of Alex Hartman, Hugh Donovan, Nick Boylett, Aaron Bresland, who recently ran very fast overnight. But James Gallagher, great kid, an absolute powerhouse in the middle. flanked by Byron Hollingsworth Descent, who won the 2 and the 100-metre hurdles earlier, and Christopher Eos on his outside. But James Gallagher shocked the world with a 21.73 in Townsville in 2013, faster than Bolt had ever run at that age. I'm looking for a sub-22 second time here from Gallagher. Clean start. Eos getting away very fast, but once Gallagher gets into his running, he's going to move past the athletes on his outside, and he's going to come into the home straight in the lead. Now you're going to hear the West Australian bevy of swans getting louder and louder as he's shrieking away from the field. Arms pumping, legs churning, and he's going to take the win in 21.72. James Gallagher, congratulations. That is a PB for the young man. Since he was 13, you don't often hear that. But congratulations, James. Unofficial 21.72.
Yeah, let's hope he hangs on to that PB call that you've given him there, Lynchy, because 21.73 is his PB from Townsville.
Well, it's not often they round it up.
And it's gone down, 21.71.
There it is. Jordan Hayward, 22.23, and it looks like Byron Hollingsworth Descent, 22.59.
And just to put that into perspective, well, Jack Hale won the other day in 21.50 to book his spot on the plane to Cali in Colombia. So he's not far off the hailstorm there, Lynchy.
No, and he's actually a couple of years younger.
Let's get the two of them in a race. Quick smart.
Oh, I wouldn't mind that. But well done. He's actually old enough to go to World Youth in 2 years. So I think he's got his eyes on Nairobi. As the old saying goes, eyes on Nairobi.
When you're in Perth, Lynchy, that's just a hop, skip and a jump over the Indian Ocean to Nairobi.
It's just next door.
And yeah, we saw him in the Jandakot City Track Classic over in Perth, Gallagher. He finished 4th over there.
He did, getting a chance, like we said before, to run against the older guys.
I remember you saying at the time, Lynchy, surely one of the youngest athletes to ever get a start on the Australian Athletics Tour.
Especially in the sprints. You don't often see the younger boys in the sprint events. They do mature a little bit later. You might see some of the girls in the distance events and that, but yeah, in the men's sprints.
I'm told he had to get a letter from his mum.
Did he?
To stay up that late.
His parents and guardian. It was a late one. Now, this might be a bit of an issue with the 400 hurdles coming out onto the track. A couple of those spots...
I'm getting nervous.
A couple of those spots are right in the middle of the javelin runway. And luckily, it's not one of the big throwers, as we see a photographer getting really close to that World Youth qualifying mark. I think he's trying to catch one with his lens.
Yeah, well, he'll get a good shot. And they're not cheap, those cameras.
No.
I can tell you, Lynchy, over there in the under-17s high jump, well, bar is now, we're into the 60s, 1 metre 60, and this is where it's going to get exciting from here on. Some of these girls, well, they'll be having a good look at their PBs shortly.
Having a few good discussions with their coaches just to make sure, again, those hurdles might be causing a little bit of strife out there for the jumpers, but I think if we go down to the jav, the officials are walking back, and
they're retreating.
Connor Warren praying to the javelin gods.
I can only imagine what the call is. Retreat, retreat.
He's got his rainbow jav, and I reckon he is ready for a big throw. Hopefully he doesn't have to hurdle one of those hurdles on his runway.
No, it looks like he's picked the gap there, Lynchy. But, all right, Connor Warren, let's stick with him here. He's thrown big only a couple of weeks ago. What can he do here? He lets it rip, and no, he's...
I think it's a bit too overspin.
No, top spin on that one.
Top spin, that's it.
And it happens, I think he's a fair cricketer. Some of these guys, they'll be good fast bowlers, good cricketers, and they get a bit confused what sport they're playing at times.
Yeah, I think he was trying to bowl a flipper then.
Yeah, so sometimes out of the front of the hand. The Doozra is an interesting one with the jab.
Trying to land it in backwards.
Personally, I'm more of I've always been a bit of an outswing bowler, so I've got a tendency to swing the javelin. But we'll keep you posted there, because this is the closing stages of round 2 in what is proving to be a very exciting men's under-18 javelin competition.
Yes, it's really heading up at both ends of the track.
Oh, we see another good throw there. Oh, they're stuck on the second bounce. Does that count, Lynchy?
No, unfortunately, we're not playing backyard javelin rules here.
One hand, one bounce. because that second, with the bounce and that second, the double movement, it got right up to the try line.
But the ref did say, spoke to the video ref, and double movement. Music's starting to pick up at the moment here. Getting pumped. There's your starters in 400 hurdles. You might have seen, if you saw the after stream.
Yes, we interviewed her, Jamie Carr.
Jamie Carr, training partner of mine from the Central Coast. But here, your starters, Sabine Keenan, Monica Clark, Amy Robinson, Jamie Carr, Caitlin Hawkes, Nicole Maynard, Mackenzie Andrews and Courtney Stanley. Oh, another good throw there in the jav. Getting out there to that 45-metre mark.
Lynchy, we might stay with the action here. We might get one more throw from Cameron McIntyre, and then we'll be vacating the commentary box and making way for those sparring partners of the track and field. Silas Mossy and Ollie Wurm, and it's no surprise to see Ollie Wurm sniffing around for a call because the 400 hurdles are on, Lynchy.
It is, and if we cast our eyes up to the scoreboard, there is no one in lane one. It has been left vacant in tribute.
We'll let Ollie Wurm expand on that very shortly when he gets into the com box. And we can just see here some more action there from the women's high jump. Not sure if our Queensland athlete will still stay in the competition there.
Yeah, they're
just
not
having a think about it.
They're not really working on the board, but oh, that's a big throw there from the Victorian.
Oh, it snaps a second go again.
Another one. There's a bit of bounce on the pitch today.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I feel like we're on the whacker.
Yep.
But dangerous times here in the field events with discus and javelin coming in from both ends.
Oh, it's not big. Oh, look at that.
Oh, that is going to be scary today.
Right. This is, if it was me running the show here, Lynchy, I'd get all the officials in. I'd get the helmets on, arm guards.
You need a review. I think you need a review mirror out here.
It's like warfare, isn't it?
It is.
It's the spears versus the plates.
Surely that happened maybe in 3000 BC in the Greeks.
Look, this is
the discuses versus the javelins.
Lynchy, you're not being silly there. This is where it all came from.
Hercules on one end, Achilles on the other.
I mean, they did it with much less clothing back in those days.
No.
As we see.
Fortunately, we are in the modern times and they are all fully clothed.
Showing some more modesty. It's good to see. Now, New South Wales here. And that will be the New South Wales athlete there. Charles Seppelt there.
Getting another one out near the 45-metre mark. But telling the other officials, turn around, boys, you got a discus coming.
And look at photographer. He's like a pig in mud.
He doesn't know where to look.
He's just going, right, every shot's gold out here.
He's on the pivot. But we'll stick with these races and then we will hand
the baton over. I want a nice clean change, Lynchy.
Stay inside the zone.
And don't forget, folks, we're going all the way through till 4:30 with this session. And then taking a quick break. And then the big one, 6 p.m. We're now inside 3 hours, Lynchy, until the Sydney Track Classic.
I can feel it building. Now, these javelin throwers are going to have to wait a little bit because they've pulled the hurdles back out to cover the runway. And I think that would be Cameron McIntyre possibly getting the spear next.
That was Jamie Carr we just saw on the screen there in the middle lane. Going into this top seed, Lynchy, would you expect?
Yeah, I think she was about 2 to 3 seconds faster than the next fastest. That was on Friday night, those heats, late in the evening. And a clean start. Will take a while before they start to sort themselves out. Victorian on the outside. Caitlin Hawkes rising first. And they get into their running pretty even down the back straight. Caitlin Hawkes moving past the athlete on her outside. Caitlin Hawkes and Jamie Carr, probably even. Jamie Carr rising earlier then. This is where she's going to have to start striding out as they come around. Only a few more flights to go. 5 more hurdles. Sorry, 4 more hurdles. Now 3 more hurdles, even between Carr and Hawkes. And it's going to be a home straight battle between New South Wales and Victoria, who is hungrier for the win. 2 more to go. Hawkes have a slight lead. Jamie Carr fighting back, but I think Hawkes is going to take this one out. A little bit stronger over the last distance. Jamie Carr just struggling a little bit, as she might be pipped by the New Zealander Amy Robinson. But Caitlin Hawkes, 59.87. That is an excellent run. A sub 60-second 400 hurdles for Caitlin Hawkes. Amy Robinson, the New Zealander, will take the silver medal, and Jamie Carr will take the silver medal as a second Australian.
And just having a look there at the preliminaries and the qualifying there, Lynchy, well, they've flipped that one around as well, because Carr had the best time by a good couple of seconds there. But, yeah, as you said, she's had to settle for the bronze there.
60.94 for Robinson and 61.21. So a fast time for Jamie Carr as well. The other girls were just taking it easy in the heat. But there's Cameron McIntyre.
All right, Lynchy, let's go. Officials, look at them. They're way back. And it's McIntyre. He releases now.
I think that's good.
This looks good. And...
Oh, no, he's been given a flat, which means it did not land point first, unfortunately. All Luckily, right. He got that big one out there. But I think we might be coming over to the high jump now.
Yes, I agree. That is a great move, because the bar's at 164 here, Lynchy, and we're looking for some quality clearances here from the girls of the high jump, under 17s, and the Beach Boys. Well, that's what I'd be choosing to jump over, Lynchy.
Surfing USA.
The benefit of those, you may not be able to hear it, but Beach Boys. There's been some pretty good musical selections, Lynchy.
It's quite a wide range, I think.
Some indifferent ones as well.
No, you'll always find those.
All depends on your tastes, I guess.
Now, that will be the under-16 discus that's starting shortly, with some big throwers. Some are getting up around the 60-metre mark, and it's definitely going to cause havoc for the officials out there. West Australian here, clear at 160 earlier. And, oh, just not right. Red flag, though, unfortunately. She must have made contact with the mat, which means that is counted as an attempt, and she will get the flag. Victoria up next, as you see the 400-metre hurdlers in that men's under-20 final warming up. And, oh, just knocking it off.
Well, Lynchy, it's coming to the very final stages of our stint here in the commentary box here at session 2 of Super Saturday.
Certainly is.
And we're getting close to handing over the baton here. And one man I know is very excited at the prospect of calling some hurdles races is Ollie Wurm. And we might invite Ollie Wurm into the commentary box right now. So I'll leave you and Ollie to have a quick chat, and then we'll bring Mossy in shortly after him as well.
Thank you, Robbo. Now we've got a tasty men's 400-metre hurdles final. I think we're going to keep an eye on Bryce Collins from New South Wales. World Junior representative last year in the 400 hurdles. Recently winning the New South Wales State Open title with a PB of 51.5 seconds, which is very, very smart hurdling. And he could be a chance. He wouldn't be out of place tonight in the Sydney Track Classic. But I think he's going to be a very, very high favourite there. As you see, the official results, 59.86 for Caitlin Hawkes, 60.94 for Amy Robinson, 61.21 for Jamie Carr, second Australian, and Nicole Maynard, 62.47. But there's your start list. for the men's under 20 400 metre final. Keep an eye on Bryce Collins.
Lynchy, good to be here, mate. I've enjoyed you and Robbo in the afternoon, and it's just heating up in the afternoon in terms of on the track, and also tonight we're going to have a 4-man attack. It's going to be pretty
all
good.
Angles covered.
Indeed, and that's I'm looking forward to some of those showdowns. We spoke about them, and not every day you get to see a world record holder racing or competing in front of your very eyes.
No, and I think he might be able to pull some of our boys through for a very, very fast race, as he always brings his own personal pacemaker.
Indeed, Sammy Tanguy.
That's correct.
Yep, he'll.
Unfortunately, Sammy didn't get the gig at the London Olympics, where Radisha just did it all on his own.
Yeah.
But Sammy, obviously good mates with Radisha.
They would be. Need a good travel buddy.
Yeah, so see the Queenslander lining up, ready for an attempt at 164. It's been a tricky height for these athletes. Haven't seen many clear. And I spoke too soon. Just missing out. We might be finding ourselves close to Connor Warren for his 3rd attempt in the Jav. Very, very shortly. I think he might be up next after this Victorian. And I think they might be waiting for a few more throws.
And the Australian under-20 record for the 400-metre hurdles, Rowan Robinson, 49.73.
Oh.
That is absolutely flying. I don't think we're going to see any sub-50-second runs today, but...
No, we might not even see a sub-51 second.
No, and that just really is a remarkable time, and he holds the open record as well, 5th in Atlanta in the 400-metre hurdles. Bit of a legend of Australian athletics, Rowan Robinson.
Rumour has it he was in a musical band back in the day, and I think it might have been a few physios. They were called the Iliotibial Band.
I've got a feeling that Matty B was a part of a band that Brian was in at some stage, living in Canberra, because Matty played the drums. And, of course, they trained together under Craig Hilliard.
Is that a 400 hurdle thing?
Maybe, indeed. So they may have played in that band together.
Now, looks like we're going to hold up the javelin for a second. Well, maybe we're going to hold everything up. The 4 hurdlers have been pulled off the track. They're all just chilling out in the shade. Not sure what we're waiting for. High jump still going. 164. Very, very tricky height for these high jumpers.
Got all the boys up here. It is going to be a classic afternoon, and tonight all 4 of us will be on air live. Mossy and I will run the next hour and a half, and then around 6 o'clock you will join us for the live stream here, 6 till 9 p.m. of some of the world and Australia's best athletes.
All right, so I'm going to step down. I feel like I need a bit of a sugar hit. I might grab a bag of lollies, and I'll hand over to Mossy and Wurmy.
Yes, and great to get rid of those jokers. Absolutely sensational. Stepping the commentary up as always. And we hope that we can do even a 10th of that.
No, I thoroughly enjoyed listening to those boys, and we've got the start list up. Mossy, I'll let you run through that.
So the start list now for the men's 400 metre under 20 final. Well, good luck here, boys. We have Paul Salim, Simon Cox, Timothy Throssell, Bryce Collins in lane 5. From New South Wales, Matthew Crowe, Kwame Porter from Victoria. Lane 8 is Robert Broadhead from South Australia, and Mitchell Lucas from New South Wales in lane 9.
Thank you, Mossy. And they're in the blocks now. And they're away the first time of asking. And we heard there the New South Wales athletes, the one to watch as they head down the back straight. Looks like Bryce Collins on the inside of him running very well. So Bryce Collins down the back straight, really starting to open up. On the outside of him, Matthew Crowe running very well. It's at the straight as well. Robert Broadhead looks like he's in a good position as they go through 200 metres. Bryce Collins looking like he's in for a good run today. Makes his move around that bend, attacks that hurdle really well. 3 hurdles to go. And Bryce Collins hits the home straight. The West Australian, Timothy Throssell, right on his shot as well. But now Bryce Collins really starts to run away with this. Clears the last hurdle with ease. The West Australian's down. But Bryce Collins, that is a superb run. 52-51 unofficially for the athlete, for the New South Welshman. And the West Australian unfortunately had that fall, but great to see him get up and finish, Mossy.
Absolutely devastation there for Timothy Throssell from Western Australia. And he's getting consoled right now by the victor there from New South Wales was Bryce Collins. And just one of those things that can happen in the hurdles, just giving it that little bit extra. And he comes down. But our national champion in the 400-metre hurdles, under 20s, a runaway victory there by Bryce Collins of New South Wales.
Yeah, and a great solid time there for him. I think he would have liked to go in the 51-second mark, but at these sort of championships, a win is a win, and that's what you want to see. Getting that national crown, and that's something that no one can ever take away from him. So 52-50 officially for Bryce Collins, the national champion for the 400-metre hurdles under 20s.
So plenty of action going on here at Sydney Olympic Park for this Super Saturday of the Australian Junior Athletics Championships. Don't forget to join us on that hashtag, AJAC15. We have one of our Victorian competitors here. The bar's at 164. She's had 2 looks at it now. And maybe her time up for that attempt. But another javelin. Going to be tossed out here. We have a Victorian. Here he goes. Looking to get it out over that yellow if he can. Look at this. He's launched it up, but it's going to fall short and flat, so we won't get a reading. In fact, we will. It looked flat, like a flat landing, but a reading will come. And it's going to be almost on the 60-metre mark.
So, Mossy, we're only a few hours away from what's going to be an absolutely outstanding night of senior athletics. Some of Australia and the world's best athletes here, and you can just see it's starting to build up, the crowd. Obviously, a lot of interstaters are here at the moment. This is a busy time around Homebush. All the accommodation everywhere around here is absolutely packed. And you can just see there, Mossy, Jana Pittman.
Yes, and it's going to be a sensational evening. Yeah, Jana Pittman.
Gee, she's got a few records here, and some pretty impressive records, which is why, off the top of my head, I believe she won a World Junior Championship, and of course was the world champion as well in the 400-metre hurdles. And
let's not forget also in the Winter Olympics in the bobsleigh.
She did. So. Not as successfully as her 400-metre hurdles career.
Pretty good, though, considering it was only for a couple of weeks.
Looks like she's pregnant at the moment, so congratulations, Jana.
Absolutely. About a month away by the looks of things.
Yep.
Always got to be careful, though, when you
if she's at Nationals, you never know what happens. We might have to be on hand, Mossy, at Nationals. No, it's good to see some of the greats of our sport here, you know, whether they're associated with any athletes here, mentoring or coaching, or just watching and perhaps bringing back some memories for an athlete like Jana.
Back at the bar, 164 clipped.
And we've got some steeplechase events coming up shortly, Mossy, so that's going to be the emphasis for the next probably hour or so.
Well, let's go through some of the events tonight that you will be looking forward to, mate. Is there anything that really sticks at the forefront of your mind?
Tonight for the Sydney Track Classic?
For the Sydney Track Classic.
Look, I personally can't go past watching David Radisha and Alex Rowe line up. That's going to be really one of the highlights for me. I think the men's high jump, I mean, having the 2 Canadians there, especially Druin, 2 metres 40, that is pretty spectacular. So the high jump. And they're probably the 2 highlights that spring to mind. Mossy, what about yourself?
Oh, mate, there's plenty of action going on. We've got some great jab chuckers tonight. Hamish Peacock will be out there. And why don't we have a look at the jab right now? As you can see, here he comes over that yellow tape. The yellow tape is a World Youth qualifier, but that'll fall short, and it looks like it's about the 45 marker.
Yeah, it's going to be a great night of athletics, and I think Melbourne as well next week is going to be another great meet. And then, of course, we've got the national titles, the selection trials for the World Championships, and really you want to see the Australian athletes really starting to come out and run well at this time of the year. Of course, we know some of them do have to go overseas and peak at a championship or at a World Championship, for example. So we want to see them do what they have to do, get on the team, and then go into their training and then be ready to peak against the best in the world.
Absolutely, and it's fantastic to see a little bit of a showdown from last year's Nationals with in the 1500 metres. Ryan Gregson, who came third, Jeff Risley, who won it, Josh Wright, who actually crossed the line second but had been ruled to cross into the path and obstructed Ryan Gregson, who is the national record holder. Gregson, he obviously spends a lot of time overseas. He's only run over the distance of 800 in New Zealand and it was a 1:49.21. So that'll be interesting. And Risley choosing not to go up against Rhodesia, I have to admit, a little bit disappointed from an athletics-loving perspective. I could see why he might be doing it, but I think that to give Alex every chance of getting that record, it would have been fantastic because Rhodesia's going to go out hard. He'll probably leave Rowe, and Rowe needs someone to go with him.
I've got a feeling that Risley may run the 800 in Melbourne. That's my gut instinct. I think we'll obviously confirm that with Athletics Australia throughout the next week or so. But, Risley's, a different kettle of fish to Alex Rowe. He's more of a pure 8-runner, runs 4, doesn't run too many 15s, whereas Risley's probably more of an 8-15. So, either way, we want to see them go head-to-head as much as possible. And I think, potentially, if the conditions are good in Melbourne and they improve from this run tonight, then next week in Melbourne we could see a cracking race. But it really depends what they go through in. How Alex has come on from his second run, because his first run was a 1:45.4. Then his second run, they went through a bit slower. Didn't quite run as quick, and he actually got beaten. But I think tonight they're going to go through, the pacemaker will go through about 50 flat, and Alex looks to go through around 50.5 or under.
Well, let's hope so.
Because if he goes through in that, he's on. It's on,
absolutely. I called it in the second stop of the year. We could say that was premature. But, he's tried a few things. He's tried, as you said there, at that pace. He's also tried the sit and kick, and he's, which is a good idea because you do have to have options up your sleeve.
Yeah.
So we just see one of our ACT competitors in the high jump. And she comes in here, bars at 1:67, I believe, and straight over. Whilst most of the competitors have gone, this is the final. And nice and easy. Hey, Mark, is that 1:67? That's at 1:67. What's above that? Is that a qualifier or something? Oh, it's 17. Can you get him to turn it? So I can see how many they've got. I can't see how many. Here we go. Another high jump. First attempt at 1:67. And not getting enough flight here. And out at the discus as well. One of the young lads trying to really launch one out there. Not getting a great piece on that one, the New South Welshman.
Yes, Mossy, we can see the steeplechasers out there getting ready to have a trundle, the first of our steeplechase events with the boys under 20 event. So that's the boys having a roll around that and looking. I think there's actually a couple of guys here who have got sub 10-minute times. You can see 9:13 for Cale Adams is his seed time. And also Nathan Percy from Victoria, 9:19. So the national record is 8:40.62, Glenn Stjanovic, and the meet record 8:55.82 by Richard Everest, the South Australian. So that's a little time for them to, you know, potentially push towards. Anything in the 9-minute barrier is pretty handy for the steeplechase. We've got some good steeplechasers come through this country recently. Yusuf Abdi, Nipris.
Yes, and you see the boys about to get their final instructions from the officials before they head on out over this journey. 3,000 metres with a few jumps in it and a swim. Well, let's hope not a swim.
No.
We saw that from Vic Mitchell last year in the Nationals. Pretty handy indeed.
Some good tunes playing here. The Australian Junior Athletics Championships. And a good crowd is just brewing here, slowly but surely. And you can just tell.
Everyone knows there's something big on, mate.
Indeed, they no doubt about that. And Homebush really is busy.
And you see there, we have on the scoreboard, Halmy, Bishop, Henson, Barnes, McDonald, Cali, Pizzica, Burgess, Waldron. And we'll get a flip over of that one once again. So we've got quite a number of competitors making their way here from Victoria. And this is probably the only event and the final of the men's 3,000 metre steeplechase.
The field is away and looks like the athletes are pushing forward.
Settle down, Ollie. It's not going to be one just yet, mate.
No, we're not going to make their first move and take victory here, but they head down the back straight, and the Tasmanian looks like he's going to take up the running.
So nice and easy for the boys as they go down that back straight.
Jacob Barnes right up there, one of the Victorians. And Kayla Adams looks like he's in the lead there, and he's got a seed time here, 9:13.18. Yep.
Whose phone's that?
So I've got a few steeplechase events coming up here for the next hour or so.
I'm sure Robbo would be proud. The young lad in second position there, donning a headband, probably not thick enough to get the performance enhancement. And you'll see here a couple of the guys will go over. Some of them will take a foot on the steeple. And a couple of the Victorian lads at the back, sort of working with each other. But we have a leader out in front.
Cal Adams, the Tasmanian.
And as you said at the start, he's one of the faster men in the field as far as their seed time goes.
Speaking of fast men, Yusuf Abdi down there doing his bit, giving back to the sport, carrying some baskets, and he is a very impressive steeplechaser, represented Australia at the highest level. And still a fit man, isn't he?
Yep. Well, I won't let you in on the big secret, mate. I'll let him tell you. But he's going to come up here tonight, hopefully. Had a chat to him, and he said he'll have a chat. I said to him, mate, there's a fair bit of time in a chase. Can you jump on up in the booth? So they're looking forward to that. In between everything that he also does.
The Tasmanian here just stretching out his lead. Looking very good.
So unfortunately, we don't have the numbers for these guys. We'll do our very best to get through. But yeah, Cale Adams out in front, making a statement that he believes he is the best steeplechaser in the land for the under-20s, and he believes he's going to take that one down easily. But plenty left to go in this race.
You see our cameraman having to actually increase the vision there to fit everyone in the frame because he's well out in front. And it is good to see a few Tasmanians starting to pop up and really be competitive on the circuit.
As you'll see, Cale Adams from Tasmania.
Mossy, you ever done a steeplechase?
I've been on a steeple, but not on the chase, so to speak.
I see. I've never done one. Probably one of the only events I've never done. I've done the 3K walk, done all the throws and jumps and runs, but never have I done a steeplechase.
You have to be slightly mad to do the steeplechase, and I'll tell you what.
Here's the javelin, the Victorian on the runway. Unleashing just over that 50-metre mark. And the ref there saying no dice.
No dice. That one. No dice whatsoever. So, yeah, the 3,000-metre steeplechase tonight for the men's looks to be an absolute beauty. The World Championships qualifier is set very high. Okay, so it's an 8:28, and the best of the Australians is Nipper, so James Nipperis from New South Wales. He's done an 8:34.64, so it'd be interesting to see where he is as far as his season goes. Is the reigning and two-time national champion. So he'll be looking forward to impress the selectors and looking forward to going as close to his can as that mark. And here's a big one in the jab. No, it went high. Kind of got held up. And that'll be that official's 14th grab of the jab today.
At least.
So this lead is opening up here, the Taswegian.
So the wind starts to come here. The wind suddenly picked up. And we do hope the conditions stay ideal for tonight because it's going to be an absolute treat of athletics, this track. Some quick times we run here in recent years, and it's going to be a really superb night. And so got the Queenslanders on the runway. So the Queenslander gets the javelin out there. Still the Tasmanian with a commanding lead, really starting to stretch out. Mossy, what's your highlight so far of the championships?
I'd say getting to call with you, my friend. Something I haven't done for a few weeks.
Yeah. It's good to have you here, buddy. It's
good to have you here too, in the home state here at Sydney Olympic Park as well. Destination New South Wales, proud partners of the meet, the Australian Junior Athletics Championship. And yeah, Sydney, it's got it all. Absolutely got it all. National parks, great surfing, great beaches, and all the facilities as you find here. We went for a run this morning, and it was fantastic to just show you a couple of the venues here at Homebush. But, mate, as far as the highlights so far, the men's sprinters have been great. Trey Williams.
Trey was very convincing in his win earlier.
Yeah, Rowan Browning. And the fact that Trey's backing up tonight, and you would have to say, after his win over Tom Gamble last week, he goes in as favourite. But we also have Josh Clark, who's run a very fast time this year as well, and Isaac Ntiamoa. So when you throw all of those in the field, the second to last event of the evening is going to be an absolute corker.
Indeed it is, and it's good to see our sprinters. We've got a few guys around that 10:40 mark, 10:30, 10:50, But hopefully it's not too long until we have a few sprinters running, 10.0, 10.1, 10.2, because then we can really look at, getting together a world-class 4x1 relay, and then you can have some athletes potentially qualifying in individual 100 metres as well, and especially to be competitive at those major championships, if you're not running, 10.0 or under, it's pretty tough to make it through the rounds.
As the boys are all getting their bell right now, so out in front. He's going to do it nice and easy, young Kale.
He's really run his own race and really made the moves at the right time and kicked away, and he's going to get, unless something horrific happens from here, he's going to come away with a national title. Take that back to the Apple Isle. Looking forward to seeing Jack Hale line up in the 100 as well. That's tomorrow, I believe.
Yeah, well, that's right. He's got 7, I believe, World Youth qualifiers, so he'll undoubtedly be going over there to Cali.
And here comes Carl Adams, Jack Hale's teammate, the Tasmanian. He'll be happy. The clock just ticking over his PB of 9.13 now, so he'll finish, looks like 9.16.96 unofficial. And considering he's out there on his own, we've got a great battle here for the minor placings. The Victorian is going to take second, New South Wales in third, but great run from the Tasmanian, all out in front on his own. I think we underestimate how hard it actually is being out there on your own, and he made the moves at the right time and backed himself and knew the right sort of pace, and he's now the national champion.
Absolutely sensational stuff. He'll take that gold medal back with him. And just thinking about the steeplechase, Robbo and I say athletics, a very simple sport, run, jump and chuck, but we have to remember swimming's involved as well.
Indeed, yeah, well, there is a bit of swimming. So we see the athletes just laying there after 3K. I can imagine they're pretty fatigued in their lungs and legs after a pretty solid aerobic hit out. And of course the steeples themselves added in a little bit of another challenge. I'm sure these guys all run a very good 3K flat as well, but having the steeple in the way adds a bit of flavour. And
it's almost like they said, how can we make this one crueler than what it could be?
Well, pretty much. And I mean, the 400-metre hurdles and the 400, it's probably hard to compare because you're obviously going quicker on the 400 metres than the 400-metre hurdles, but the hurdles in the way add another bit of just a bit of excitement. And Mossy, you've done the form guide here for this evening, and really Pearson and Breen and Nelson in the women's 200. That should be a great battle once again, because Breen's been working on her 200 metres. Nelson probably haven't seen the best of her just yet, but I've got a feeling she might be ready, and Pearson is just a legend of sprinting and hurdling. So
and Monica Brennan has been one of the picks of the season so far. So over at the high jump,
the big V, not clear.
And the big V down at 170. The red flag goes up. And another one of our competitors making his way across the finish line in the men's under 20 3,000 metre steeplechase. And if you love your chase, this is a treat. This is your hour.
This is your hour. This is
we've got the men's 2,000 coming up in a couple of races' time. The women's 3,000 in under 20s. So yes, the men 2,000 under 15 and the men's 2,000 under 16. And if that wasn't enough, let's just keep on rolling. Men's 2,000, women's 2,000 under 15, women's 2,000 under 16, and that's it. Then they stop. They've had enough.
It. Got the women there looking like a big flock of sheep assembling down at the start line, just all assembling, getting ready. We've got on our list around 17 girls to go head to head. The national record for this event, 9 minutes 30.7.
So
So the officials out there, of course.
Just making sure that the steeple was in the right position. It's
giving a little.
It's not uncommon for it to move with the amount of traffic.
Yeah, they are all doing a bit of a practice.
Yep, get it out of the road. You got to make sure it's the right height. If that young girl in the background with the yellow compression garments. Yeah, say it again. How about we start? Our compression garment of choice here is 2XU.
2XU, great gear. And Adidas, we don't forget Adidas do compression.
The beauty is that you can actually do one on your right leg, one on the left, and you go faster.
Yep.
I don't know if that's fact. I just made that up, I think.
Of course, Adidas supplying us with our polos today. I just love this polo, the fabric and the iconic 3 stripes.
Oh, beautiful.
Love it.
Mate, that's exactly right. And Robbo hasn't taken his off for quite some time. So, here we go. It's the girls. That's right. The women's 3,000 metre steeplechase for the under-20s. Just waiting for a start line. Starting lineup to come up on the screen. And we'll be getting things underway. See a couple of people in the background there finding a bit of shade up on the hill. There's terraces. And expect there'll be some people there tonight. Expecting a big crowd. Always does bung on a big crowd here at the Sydney Olympic Park Athletics Centre.
That's a big throw from the Queenslander, just over that 60-metre mark. And the girls eagerly are waiting for this steeplechase. They just want to get out there and get it out of the way. 3K jumping over those obstacles. Can't be exciting. Also, I actually did a bit of cross-country in my time, just at school towards the end. And one race we rocked up, they had haystacks, some little hurdles. They had some haystacks there, so it was basically a 6K with a few haystack.
Okay, so here we go. The starting lineup for your women's 3,000 metre steeplechase under 20s. We have Eckel, Wingcup, Lee, Newolf, Massa, Grogan, Welfare, McFarlane and Croft from New South Wales. As we flip over the page, it's Hodgcart, Hadwiger, Hooper, Campbell, Kelly, Locke, McQuilkin, Bell and Gifford. I have to admit that if you want your child to be good at athletics, go for the hyphenated name, because there's plenty here. We saw a hyphenated Moss before take out a
Indeed, Harry Kimpton Moss.
There it is.
Legend. He's happy. I saw him after the race earlier and he was a bit chuffed. And they are away now in
Happy
this
Harry.
3,000 metre steeplechase and in the early stages.
So the ones to look out here from New South Wales, Beth Croft. She has a seed time of 10:45 high. From South Australia, Sophie Eckel with 10:47 flat. And there's a couple of the girls in 11s as well. 11:01 for Caitlin McQuilkin Bell. You see the girls going over the water jump. I once asked when I was younger, I said, what do you call that last one there? The water jump. And they said, well, we call it the water jump.
Georgia Wingcup accelerating into that steeplechase. And her teammate just behind her, Paige Campbell. So New South Wales holding the first 2 spots, and also in 3rd spot, Beth Croft. So it's a New South Wales trifecta at the moment, with McQuilkin Bell in 4th and the South Australian Sophie Eckel sitting in 5th. So there are our first 5 at this stage, as we get a good camera angle there of all the athletes negotiating the steeple, and of course every athlete's got a different technique, some stepping on it, some straight over. Imagine Sam Bain or Nick Hoff trying to do the steeple in over 3,000 metres.
Yeah, I'd like to see it happen. I think they'd be okay over those steeples.
Oh, that'd be
but it's the chase.
Sublime. It's the 3K after that.
Interestingly enough, we know the Kenyans are renowned for their marathon running. Pretty much every year, about 90 of them qualify for an Olympic time or a World Championship time. However, the national sport is the steeplechase. Factual. Yep. Everyone looks at me when I say something like, surely that can't be true. But
well,
yes.
the Kenyans, they do love their sport. Actually, a great story of the Kenyan sporting is when they made the semi-final of the Cricket World Cup in 2003. Now,
who can forget?
Who could forget? Honestly, they beat New Zealand, Sri Lanka, a couple of walkovers as well. They got to the semi-finals of the World Cup, but unfortunately, since then they've gone downhill and haven't won and made the World Cup since. But Rossi, what do we got here?
Hello, Stacey Tarima, never one to shy away from the Twitter up there in Queensland. Says Trey Williams, Rowan Browning, Jack Hale versus Daniel Ricciardo over 20 metres. Who would win?
Surely those boys would smoke him.
Trey Williams, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, Trey Williams, I think, would win that. We can't underestimate for F1 drivers, their fitness and all of the training they do, and they're putting their life at risk just driving at those speeds. But I don't think 20 metres he'd be able to match it with them. But I've got no doubt he'd be a pretty competitive sort of guy and back himself and not too far off him. We know Mark Webber is a pretty good athlete, loves his fitness and does a lot of challenges, Mark Webber.
The kid from Queanbeyan.
Like Matt Beckenham. So this great, then you can see the athletes coming around again. 4 laps to go after this. And they're about to come around and get into their, well, 4 laps to go, so around 1,600 metres. And you can just see them looping around there, and we can see the Adidas flags, great sponsors of Athletics Australia, and making their way around the bend. But still the New South Wales trifecta with the South Australian sitting in 4th. Bit of 80s music on here in the background.
As you can see there, look at that angle. Well done for the boys from VPA Live. Nice angle, staring straight down the barrel of the home straight. I'll tell you what, those girls are really enjoying it, aren't they, Ollie? Have a look. They're just loving it.
Oh, they're loving it.
Couldn't be anywhere else. They could be at Bondi Beach, but no.
Here they are.
They're out here at Sydney Olympic Park.
No, they love it. We're all competitive animals, and I know these girls have put in the hard yards and done their training, and obviously only one athlete will generally can cross the line in first, but let's hope these girls...
That is factual.
Yep.
Oh, no, it isn't factual, is it?
Well...
Because someone can tie.
You can tie, exactly. There are dead heats, but all we can ask for is as many PBs as possible, because, you know, you want to be as good as you can. So there's 3,000 metre steeples on. We're going to get some field event action and keep you updated on the discus shortly. And a few the big fellas out there. Here we go.
There we go in the ring. Just a nice easy one, throwing it out there.
Just the standing throw as well. So gets the red flag, unfortunately. But it is always interesting to know the different techniques of the athletes, and New South Welshmen there, they're just going with a standing throw, whereas we see a few of the discus throwers love to get quick in the ring, quick feet.
So this is that was the men's under 16s discus throw. And plenty of athletes there trying to take down a national championship, and the meet record is 70 metres 10 by Tim Dreisen.
Big Timmy, and he holds the national record. You can see there, Timothy holds the national record, but Tim holds the meet record.
Oh, really?
So he's obviously changed his name very sneakily.
Yeah.
But Timmy Dreisen lives in the ACT now, and
well, mate, it saves ink. Saves ink. And that's one thing when you get a business card. I know you're a man of the business, and you get a business card. Why do you have to pay the same if you have more ink compared to someone else? It's a bit like clothes, a person in small compared to someone in extra large.
Well, I used to go in athletics when I was competing. God knows how long ago. I was Ollie Wurm, and now professionally I consider myself Oliver Wurm.
Oliver Wurm.
Indeed. Oliver, nice to meet you. So
really?
Indeed, yep.
Yeah.
But once I get to know someone well, it's how are you, Ollie?
I'm a bit the same. People don't know me will call me Silas.
Yeah.
And
good mates call you Mossy.
Well, now everyone calls me Mossy. Well, but yeah.
I think they're both good names.
Oh, thanks, mate. Better than my middle name.
Which is?
I don't have one.
Indeed.
You got two.
I've got two. I'll give you one, mate.
I was hoping to adopt it.
Silas Sinclair Moss.
Well, it's beautiful. And just getting news through by our team on the ground. We've had a 61.78. It was a Queenslander. That narrows it down. We're getting there. We have a wonderful team behind us doing all their fantastic work. So great stuff there. Still at the steeplechase as well. And we'll stay at the distance now.
Getting the bell in the steeple, however, and it's Beth Croft in the lead from New South Wales. So New South Wales in the lead with her her state associate there, Georgia Wincup, sitting in second. But Beth Croft heads down the back straight, and she's got around just under 300 metres left to negotiate. And the crowd's getting behind our athletes in the jav, getting a big throw. And it is great to see the interaction between the crowd and the athletes, everyone getting behind each other here, because that's what you want to see.
And the volunteers, let's not forget.
Let's not forget the volunteers, because without them, this would not be happening, and all the AA staff and whatnot. So it's great to have.
Yes, and we're going to find our winner coming around.
Yeah, great run by Beth Croft. She's got around 120 metres to go, and great race by her. Made a decisive move, and she's going to be a national champion.
And where's she from, mate?
New South Wales.
Oh, there you go. It's not hard.
It's not hard. Well,
the Premier State here at Sydney Olympic.
And she clears her final steeple, and she is going to come down. Beth Croft, your national champion in the under 20 3,000 metre women's steeplechase, and very relieved. Clock didn't stop there, but around 10 minutes 30. So hope she's happy with that run. And you can see the Queenslander is going to take second, McQuill Bell, and in third it's going to be Georgia Wincup. So that's the top three. We've still got a few other athletes to finish, but you can see those girls lying there on the ground and they're spent.
Sensational stuff there. A couple of New South Wales girls and the Queenslanders splitting them, and they will be on the podium this afternoon as the three medal getters in the national championship there. Well done, girls, as we just switch over there to the jav. Another one from New South Wales. Can he get it over the yellow tape? He throws it out. It's up, but it just goes a little too high. Oh my goodness, it's close. Wow. Ollie Wurm.
That's big.
I tell you what, from where we were sitting, it looked like it was almost going to float backwards, but that is a massive throw.
Great throw by the New South Wales athlete, and it's a good day out there. Looks like they are setting up some of the throws, but let's hope all the athletes come away from this championship satisfied with the performance, ideally a PB, hopefully a season's best, and hopefully achieved what they set out to do.
You can see there more competitors crossing over the line. That there was Gracie Lee from WA. And coming in behind her. Not 100% sure who that was. It was Rebecca Locke from Victoria. Well done, Annika Grogan. And completing the field, the girls coming across here, and you'll see they're absolutely spent. And you'll see tonight in the men's steeplechase. Watch the guy who will win it, James Niparis, at the end. Absolutely spent. Remember,
that's what you want to see, isn't it?
Yep. It doesn't matter what games it is, whether it's Commonwealth Games, it's a club meet. He does the same thing. I saw him at the World Cross Trials. Exactly. He gets absolutely spent. And his girlfriend, Emily Brikacek, will be racing in the 5,000 metres tonight.
Yes, Brikacek.
Yep. And we're not too far away. You can see Locke, McFarlane, just a couple of our competitors in the next event on the schedule. So the next event on the schedule is the men's 2,000 metre steeplechase under 15s. The ones to watch here will be Bailey Dawson of Western Australia. He has a seed time of 6:42.10. Bettering him is Jack Watson with a 6:35 flat. And also Nicholas Vidler.
The Queenslander popping it out there. Pretty big throw, Mossy.
It is big. It's a massive, massive throw. And another one of our New South Wales competitors stepping into the ring for the discus. Unfortunately, we can see that last throw was a 53.15. This is the third throw. It's a big one. Oh, it's real big. Gone flat. He looks reasonably happy with that one. So that's heading out. Well, I couldn't tell you, Ollie Wurm, because the numbers there are for the javelin.
Just see on the results, Kayla Adams 9:16.94 in first. In second, Nathan Percy 9:27.43 in second. Women javelin under 15, Tali Anderson, the winner from Queensland, 41.04. Alexander Roberts 38.91, and in third, Taluska Kia. Oh, here's trouble. Here we go.
Goodness. All the way from Twitter, Australia, tuning in to the Aussie Junior Athletics Champs live stream. Doing a great job, boys. And look at that. They've got a personal picture of themselves on their laptop. Fantastic to the boys there.
I always forget those two names, but I know they're referring to us, Mossy.
They certainly are. The two Muppets.
The two Muppets. Oh, dear.
So a little bit of action going on here. The men's javelin is over. And now we continue the program. We've got the women's under 17 high jump. The bar is at 175. It's our ACT competitor. She's taking a look at the bar. Winds swirling around out of the northeast. What a lean. Superior lean. Here she goes. Let's get over 175. And with the back.
Close. Good to see the ACT athletes out there. And we spoke to, obviously, Maddie B, a very proud supporter of ACT Athletics, coaching many of their top athletes, including Melissa Breen, Lauren Wells. Brendan Cole was based up there at the ACT.
Oliver Wurm.
Yeah, I was there.
Let us not forget. And you see up there on the scoreboard a number of our competitors in the 2,000 metre under 15 men's steeplechase. Final ones there, Farnsworth, Watson, Camilleri from Victoria. And the boys are off and racing.
This is what we want to see, under 15 men's 2,000 metre steeplechase. And Feidler looks like one to watch from Victoria. Also Bailey Dawson, the West Australian. He looks like he's gone out pretty hard there. Unconventional over the steeple, some of these boys. But doesn't matter. As long as you get over that and can find your rhythm, then you will be all right. The New South Wales athletes starting to get into second. And Jack Watson potentially in the lead. He's got a seed time of 6:35, so some class athletes, and you can see Watson has the height advantage over the athletes in second, third and fourth. Does he have that aerobic capacity and the rhythm over the hurdles? Bailey Dawson as well, looking... He went out hard, now he's dropped back to fourth spot. And our New South Wales athletes looking good as we see the high jump. The ACT on the runway looked good. She certainly is capable of getting that height.
See the guys here. We'll go back to the high jump now. A Victorian athlete.
All different techniques, aren't they? Just ways they prepare themselves.
She's got a very short run up. Just having a bit of a think about it here. Bar is at 175. Here we go. Thinking. See a few of the guys in the foreground. Just running through. Can she get over? 175. Come on, let's get over. Oh!
Close.
So close. Wow. No cigar. Not that you do that kind of stuff these days. Wow. And little cuddle there under the tent. Not sure.
Yes, indeed. It's a close attempt. Bars at 175 in the high jump. You can see them trying to get some shade. And then this steeplechase, still the athlete from New South Wales leading the way. And West Australian made his way into second, the big V. Victorian sitting in third. They've got 2 laps to go in this 2,000 metre steeplechase. The meet record 6:10.75 by Mitchell Lamb. And the national record, James Matthews, 5:55.06.
So a little lead bunch there. We see a breakaway attempt now. Young Western Australian.
There, the West Australian gets to the lead, and New South Wales in second, Victoria in third, and there's an athlete sitting in fifth spot as well. He looks like a tall, long striding. He makes his way into fourth, so some chopping and changing out in front, Mossy, and anyone's game here in this event.
Absolutely.
And don't forget, we're just a couple of hours away from an absolutely cracking night of athletics at the Sydney Track Classic.
Mate, I'm trying so hard.
It's 4 o'clock now.
I'm trying hard to contain myself. What would it be in New Zealand? Do they actually get the Track Classic before us? They do. 3 hours before us?
They will get it before, at the same time, but yes, in their day, yes, they'll be getting it before us. So the New Zealand, they've got a few 4 hurdlers running here tonight. Cameron French, he'll be ready. So Watson's in the lead. That's good to know.
Watson, Feidler and Huff by Camilleri, the Victorians. So 3 Victorians there as they get the bell.
West Australian Jack Watson now starting to make his move, around 350 metres to go. Feidler looking good in second. And Camilleri having a good run. But down the back straight, it's getting closer and closer. Can Feidler latch on to Watson and make this a great battle with around 250 metres to go? Those 3 other ones are going to be battling it out. Camilleri, the tall youngster, sitting in 3rd spot. If he's got a bit of a kick on him, I like the look of him because he's just looming up, getting on the back of them, and the big long strides of Brent Camilleri could be decisive as we see the Victorian Feidler gets the lead. Around 150 metres to go, negotiating that final jump. Feidler gets to the front, the West Australian in second. Camilleri in third. I think he's gone. The West Australian.
Oh, no, they're coming back here, Ollie.
Jack Watson kicks back. Watson has kicked back Feidler. They clear the last hurdle. And now Jack Watson says, see you later. This national championship's mine. And he looks good. And the winning time, 6:33.90. And based on what we've got here, that's a personal best for Jack Watson. I've got here 6:35. And great run by Jack Watson. He looked gone at around 150 metres to go, but he dug deep and really put it to the Victorians. You can see there, he's happy, he's stoked. And let's hope we see him in our senior ranks in years to come.
Sensational stuff from the pocket rocket. Just really, he was gone. We thought he was gone, but all of a sudden he just found that little extra in the tank after the water jump and just came home very, very strong indeed. And we see a few more competitors basically fall. So the next events we have, steeplechase continue to go. What are we up to, Ollie? Up to the women's under 16.
Potentially.
No, we're further along the track.
We've got the men's 2,000 metres under 16.
There we go.
So
this is actually the
Yep.
No, it isn't. I'm getting lost. I'm getting caught up with myself here, mate.
Yes, mate. It is the final.
It is a final, but it isn't the final steeplechase.
No, not the final steeplechase. We've got plenty of them to come. But, yeah, we've got that coming up next. So that made record. Tim Morrison, 5:57.14. And the national record, same as the under 15, James Matthews.
So for those that want to know a bit about steeplechase, apparently, now I will quote this from the great source of Wikipedia, so it may or may not be factual. It originated in Ireland, where the horses and riders raced from one town steeple to the next.
There you go.
The steeples were used as markers due to their visibility over long distances. We'll just have a look over there in the discus. So there you go, the Irish.
The Irish, that's where it all originated, and of course they're big on their steeplechase racing. We haven't got the start list up for the hurdles, sorry, the steeplechase just yet, but a big field assembled. Jack Watson confirmed as the winner of the under 15. You can see the results for those watching at home.
So looking up there at the board, it's Watson, Feidler, Huff, Camilleri. These are the results from the last event. Dawson, Purser, Gosper, Farnworth and Fleming. Now, we don't mind the person behind the scoreboard attendant, if they want to bring up the actual start list for this one. We'll do our best to keep in control. Tell you what's been going on. So this is yet another steeplechase here. Just getting their final instructions out wide. Starter you can see on the left-hand side.
So about to introduce these athletes. There we go. We can see the second page on the screen there.
Well, that is the fastest change in the history of athletics. So I can tell you a split second there. So I can tell you that 10 of the competitors, Williamson, Field, Bromfield, McPhillips, McGill, Seal's having a run. Good on you, Seal. Kelly, Chilcott and Fleming.
So the athletes there away, setting the pace quite early on. Looks like the West Australian has gone to the lead, really setting the pace. And we're going to watch a bit of the discus, the New South Welshman in the ring.
And don't forget to stick around, guys. Plenty of action on tonight. It's not just on, but also in the field. I'm tipping we'll see a national record thrown tonight, 68.72, Danielle Costian's record. Danny Samuels with a 67.99. So I think she's actually going to do it. I know Robbo's been talking it up as well. She's going to Cali. Just about every throw she's had that wasn't a foul has been a qualifier. So, speaking of Danny Samuels, over in the ring for the discus. It's a Queensland competitor. Launching it out, up it goes. And that's been as far as the majority of the guys so far in this competition. It's like it's about the 50-metre mark. You can see there a massive spread in the field with our two leaders who are looking very, very strong indeed.
Jansen van Rensburg, one of the West Australians, well seated here. And also the Victorian James Laven, 6:21 his seed time. So Laven sitting nicely in second and Jansen van Rensburg is in first. Jensen van Rensburg's seed time 6:27.44, leaves them down the back straight, and James Laven, the Victorian, sitting in second spot. And these two really are the breakaway pair, with our athlete from New South Wales sitting in third, Mossy.
That's right there, Ollie, and you can see, well, that's the thing, you can't see that he's out of the screen at the moment. The third place competitor from New South Wales, followed by a Queenslander and a New South Welshman as well. And it'll be interesting to see how they go. You'd suspect for the minor placings now that these boys who are crossing over the water jump, heading up to the final steeple in the home straight.
Yeah, this Jensen van Rensburg's really made a move to tear away, and the Victorian James Laven said, I'm going to go with you, because if I get too far back, might put himself out of calculation. So,
oh no, this one's over. West Australian, look at him.
He's looking comfortable, but don't disheart the big V, mate. Don't dismiss
Levine,
them.
is that correct? With the
yes,
big V?
James Levine.
Well,
and Seal is in third. James Seal from New South Wales sitting in third spot. And another Geddes in fourth. So we've seen a lot of Geddes athletes around, haven't we?
Yeah, very fruitful.
But normally sprinters.
Family.
Normally sprinters, but obviously one of them got the steeple chasing genes. these things happen?
I'm just blown away by the fact we've got Seal out there.
I know.
What's your favourite Seal song, mate?
Oh, I don't really know. Kissed by a Rose, to be perfectly honest.
There it is. Can you sing it for us? That's the real question. Oh, I love you, Ollie. I really do.
You don't want to hear my voice. We want to see the athletes out there killing it.
And the Victorian has tacked back on, and I have to admit, I thought he was well and truly gone.
Never right off the big Victorian. He looks like a strong lad.
I think he might have red hair too. Yep. And so we're just about to get the bell for these competitors here. So we should see a fantastic last lap. They're crossing over that steeple about the same. Look at this.
And the Victorian looms up to his shoulder. This is great to see, Mossy. It's these two, Jensen van Rensburg and Laven. Seal probably a good 60 metres away, but these two are going head-to-head. And it may come down to who can clear these steeples the best. The Victorian gets to the lead, Mossy.
Absolutely. Look at him go. You can see him out in front now. We thought he was gone, but he's got a very leaning action forward as he goes past the discus. He's now spread out to a 2 or 3 metres.
He's clearing the hurdles well. He's got the height advantage over the West Australian.
And the West Australian there in Jensen van Rensburg. Sounds like he should be driving a Formula 1 car. Well, he's going to have to tack back on here.
Yep, because Laven, with around 200 metres to go, clears them well and he's in the lead. This is great to see, and we've got a real good battle, and we certainly can't be calling the winner from here, because that last 100 metres, that's where the action can. I don't think the West Australian's going to give up. Watch for Jensen van Rensburg really dig deep, but at the moment the Victorian looks good. Is West Australian gone? He may well be, unless he's got something else to give, because the big Victorian negotiates the hurdle, and he looks to run clear. The West Australian digs deep, but it's too late. Too late, because the Victorian, James Laven, salutes the crowd, raises the finger, and he's done that. A great victory and a great head-to-head battle with Jensen van Rensburg there, Mossy. That's what we like to see.
That was a fantastic race, and for everyone out there watching at home, it just goes to show you that you think that you dropped off, and he obviously dug deep, the big V.
And the man kissed by a rose in third, James Seal.
Beautiful.
Storms home for third spot. And we can see it for the minor spots as well. Those boys really battling it out. But we saw those two in front having a real classic head-to-head battle and brought the best out of each other. That's what we want to see, Mossy. The athletes bringing the best out of each other. And let's hope David Radisha brings the best of Alex Rowe tonight.
I've got one little tip to throw out there for all these guys and every young competitor that will get involved in a steeplechase. At the finish line, go a little bit further and step to the right, because everyone's like you.
Yep.
And they're going to be busting straight through to you, and you might actually catch some kind of projectile vomit even. Who knows?
You never know.
You can see there a lot of the guys, and hopefully we've had a whole wealth of personal bests today, as we've had plenty. And listen, don't forget to join us on the hashtag AJAC15. We saw Robbo and Lynchy obviously working very hard.
Yeah, Robbo and Lynch did a great job, and looking forward to having all four of us together tonight, because love those guys, their insight, love working with Mossy as well. And
we haven't had it, have we, mate?
We haven't had
all four, yeah.
And also the production team and the camera team we've got here, VPA and the AA staff. It's a great bunch, and trying to do the best we can out here.
They do their best, the production crew, and it's pretty good usually.
No doubt about it. Steeple result on the screen. Under 15, Jack Watson the winner, 6:33.93. Nicholas Fiedler, 6:35.31, and Caleb Huff, not related to Nick Huff, surely, 6:37.91.
No, they don't send the Huff south, mate.
No, mate.
Nick Huff racing tonight, chasing down a qualifier.
Send Bain south.
The men's 110-metre hurdles.
Can't wait to see that head-to-head battle. I reckon Huff's in superb form, but Baines looks like he's ready to improve from his first up run.
You must be a friend of Bainesy's, I think.
Oh, I've met him before.
And we're about to get things underway here. We hope in event number 262, 263. It is the women's 2,000 metre steeplechase. And it looks like it may well be the under 15, so we may be a little bit behind schedule here. I can confirm this is the women's 2,000 metre under 15 steeplechase. And we'll hopefully get our start list up. Yeah, there you go. Brown, Westcott. Well, could be a Scott-Westcott relationship. Hiscock, Gocher. You see there Gallagher, Bevan, Reithmuller, Allen, Casaclang, Langford, Kennedy, Corney and Cage from Queensland.
So 15 competitors to go to war here in the under 15 women's 2,000 metres steeplechase. Kate Reithmuller from Queensland gets to the lead early along with her Queensland teammate Emily Casaclang. So Casaclang goes to the lead. So as they negotiate this, Kate Reithmuller looking good, as is Rafaela Corney, the Tasmanian. And sitting in third is Jamie Hiscox, another Tasmanian steeplechaser. They're breeding him down there. Molly Gallagher sitting in fourth. So the Tasmanians with some steeplechase stocks, Mossy.
Absolutely. I know Millie Clark from Tasmania, been training up here in New South Wales as well, one of our steeplechasers. And mate, let's just cast our eyes back just a little bit to what's going to be happening tonight as we see this women's 2,000 metre under 16 steeplechase continuing to go on. What about the women's long jump, mate?
That's going to be a great battle. Brooke Stratton, Chelsea Jens and Jess Penny, who jumped 6.53 last weekend. So all those girls around the 6.50 to 6.70. We're going to see another great head-to-head battle, which is what we want to see.
And then women's 800 metres, and Brittany McGowan, Selma Kajan, Kelly Hetherington, amongst a whole host of followers as well. So it's going to be sensational. Look, the qualifier is 2:01, and McGowan has so far done a 2:03 this season. Her PB of 2:01.26, which she set in Glasgow, will come under fire tonight.
Yeah, you'd think so. Let's hope we can see a good pace on and potentially some good season best results for these athletes.
You can see the girls not far off coming over the finish line.
So in the action down there, Emily Casaclang, the Queenslander, has got a great small lead at this stage, just over her fellow Queenslander Jamie Hiscock, and the tall frame of Molly Gallagher sits in third. And Molly Gallagher, look at those long legs loping down the back straight, but Emily Casaclang, the Queenslander, is in the lead at this stage. So she's the one putting it all on the line as they clear the steeple.
Look at that. Here we go. The crowd. What a sensational sight that is for this Super Saturday at Sydney Olympic Park Athletic Centre. Each of the different states getting their different section of the crowd.
And we
Obviously,
see them.
New South Wales with a much bigger contingent than most.
Yes, mate.
I'll tell you what, saw Brendan Cole, one of our greatest 400 metres of the last 10 runners of the last 10 years, over there providing massage for his charges all day.
That's what you do, mate, giving back to the sport. Brendan Cole, class 400 metre hurdler and 4x4 athlete. And,
we saw one of our competitors using the hand There, the two hands flipping over.
But Casaclang is starting to stretch away, and Molly Gallagher, the Victorian, going to have to go with her here. As they look to make their way, and still 2 laps to go in this 2,000-metre steeplechase. Long away either from the men's triple jump under 20. Another 20 or so minutes. We can see the meet record held by Owen Jones, 15:60. The national record held by Henry Frone.
Of course it is.
16:58. And also the women's triple jump under 20. Linda Allen is the national record holder, 13:36. But Brooke Stratton, now a long jumper, 13:34 for her.
There you go. Alwyn will be jumping tonight.
He's jumping here tonight.
Triple jump from Victoria.
Casaclang in lead, but the Victorian, Molly Gallagher, just reeling her in slowly but steadily.
Well, I can't call it because I called it last time and my little charger from WA didn't get over the line. And last year I called commentating from a long way out Vic Mitchell to win the Nationals, and she tripped at the final water jump.
Yep.
She did claim a way back. It was young Rosie, can't remember her name, from New Zealand, who thought she was going to take down a major championship here in the Oceania. But unfortunately for her, Vic Mitchell fired up and came all the way home.
She dug deep.
Absolutely.
That's what the good athletes can do.
She dove deep in that that water. As the girls are about to come up to get the bell lap, final lap to go here in the 2,000-metre steeplechase.
Casaclang in the lead, with Gallagher in second, and sitting in third, it's still Jamie Hiscock from Queensland. So not much has changed up in front. So down the back straight, it's still Casaclang, but the Victorian Molly Gallagher just starting to wind up. Just over 200 metres to go. Casaclang's led for a big part of this race. The Victorian Molly Gallagher, hard to gauge whether she's got much left, but she's getting closer and closer to the shoulder of the Queenslander. And you wonder if she can, in fact, wheel her in and potentially take out this national championship. So 2 more clearances over the hurdles to go, the steeples. And it's the Queenslander and the Victoria, just over 100 metres to go. Casaclang and Gallagher, the Queenslander in the lead. Can the Victorian dig deep? Gallagher still in second, Casaclang in the lead. And the Queenslander may have just done enough. She may have the speed in her legs, and she strides away. Emily Casaclang going to be our national champion in the women's 2,000-metre steeplechase, and a gallant second by the Victorian Molly Gallagher. And in third, it's going to be Jamie Hiscock from Queensland.
So that's our top 3 competitors. The podium there for your women's under 15 2,000-metre steeplechase. And we've got, in fact, that may well have been the 16s. A few jumps coming up, but stick around, guys, because before the Big Track Classic goes tonight, we do have the 400-metre finals, the under 17 men and 18 men, and the 17 and 18 women, starting at 5:56. Don't go anywhere, folks, or if you do, you better make your way back. Of course, you can. If you wanted to watch any other sport, you can have a split screen. On your little mobile device, you can have the footy, and then on the big screen, you can have the athletics. Very simple.
Yeah, this is the day and age we live in, Mossy, and sports becoming more and more accessible.
And just an apology there for everyone. The 400-metre finals, we won't be showing the under 17 and 18 men and women. We'll be off air very, very shortly. But look, plenty of action still to come for all of us here tonight. Athletics lovers. We've got David Radisha in the 800 metres. Let's not forget in the women's 200 metres. A great battle between Pearson and Breen. Sally Pearson has actually qualified for the world champs in the 200 metres. I'm sure she won't run, but she's qualified. She ran that 13:52, which is the second all-time now. And also Mel Breen, 23:47. In fact, sorry, that was 22:97 for Sally Pearson. And Mel Breen, 23:47. So they'll be charging along. Ella Nelson not too far behind them as well.
Ella Nelson, really, her strength of her race coming off that bend, coming home late. Whereas I think with Breen and Pearson, they really get off to a good start and just try hold for as long as possible. But there's so many ways to run a 200, different types of athletes, and you can see all different shapes and sizes out there in athletics in all different events.
Straight up 16 minutes, 3,000 metres, Steeple chase final. Athletes on the line. Big record, how much yes, beautiful at Queensland, 6 minutes, 41:35, so 2,000 was there. National record holder. Just beautiful at 6 minutes, 33:54, that was set back to
So here we go, the final steeplechase on the menu today. It's the women's under 16, 2,000 metres. 4 laps of glory. And they're off and racing. They're in the back straight. See there, a couple of the smaller girls in the field going straight to the front. So they come up to the first steeple. And they've got about 100 metres to go till they find themselves in the first of their water jumps.
And don't forget to tune back in at 6 o'clock tonight, because that's when some of Australia's best senior athletes and also some of our junior athletes and some of the world's best athletes, not to mention the greatest 800 metre runner of all time, David Rudisha, will be here, Robbo, and we'll be joined by a few others, including Matt Lynch. Dave Robertson will join myself and Mossy, and it's going to be a superb night of athletics.
So Crouch leading Mender. Crouch from Queensland, and Mender tucked in behind. She is from Victoria. See them out there in front. Tasmanian tucked in behind them. She's really leading away here, Crouch.
And let's just hope, Mossy, the conditions are superb for tonight. A bit of a wind around, so we do want to see that wind either be advantageous for our sprinters or die down potentially as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all unfolds here tonight, and we want to make sure that we put on the best conditions possible, whether it be for the 1 lap, 2 lap, the sprint events or our field events. But no doubt about it, the class athletes are here to run tonight, Mossy, and make sure you tune in wherever you are. Try to set it up, get as comfortable as possible. Go to the shops now, get your supplies, because you don't want to leave your seat from 6 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time tonight till 9 p.m.
So on C times, Jennifer Mendez, who's in second from Victoria, 6:59 flat, and Lucinda Crouch in first position from Queensland. She's got a 7:10.51.
It's impressive running, Mossy, and you can see the Queensland looking very comfortable in front. And she's quite a tall girl as well, which can be advantageous when negotiating these hurdles. We've seen some big 110 hurdlers and also some smaller 110 hurdlers, so they do come.
And just looking down there, you can see we're up here on the one here. Ollie's over there, and the production crew's there. Mark Howard, he's a 226 high jumper.
There he
is. And there's Luke, he once jumped 124 centimetres.
Yep, great. So So this is going to be the last event we cover from this session, and then we're going to recuperate and get ready for tonight for 3 hours of action-packed athletics and some of the greatest athletes you're ever likely to see.
Yes, mate, it's going to be absolutely sensational. The first couple of events getting underway. The women's hammer, and can young Alex Hulley continue her form over Lara Nielsen? That is going to be a belter. They're throwing pretty much the same distance. About 7 metres off the world qualifier, so we may not see them get that. Joel Pocklington in the pole vault. Saw him in the Commonwealth Games.
Yep.
He hasn't jumped well this year. Angus Gould from New South
His pole.
Yep.
I wonder how his pole's going.
Going quite well. And if we go over, as we said there, the men's 110 hurdles, we've got the men's 15 with Gregson, Risley and Wright. Mate, we've got just about everything covered for you here tonight. As the girls go around, 2 laps to go here, and comfortably out in front from Queensland, it's Crouch. And Mendez still in second place. So she's running away with this one is Lucinda Crouch from Queensland. She's doing fantastically out in front. As we said there, mentioned there at the top, coming into it was Jennifer Mendez from Victoria. Well, she's stuck in second, and she's going to have a fair battle as a Taswegian coming out. They will get the bell very shortly. There's Lucinda Crouch, or is she starting to tighten up with a final lap to go? Because the Taswegian rather, is making a move. She's just found herself into second place. So getting the bell now, Lucinda Crouch. And looking at coming where we have Webb versus Mendez. And tucked in behind them is Narikoff. So Webb versus Mendez.
That's going to be a cracking finish as we see them.
She's in the final straight now, in the back straight. Lucinda Crouch from Queensland. And looks like she's going to take out this final of the women's 2,000 metre steeplechase under 16. It's been a fantastic. She's led it from start to finish. She's got 75 metres on the rest of the field. Mendez and then Webb. And we do have a competitor who's still within the mix. And I believe it's Kreiderman. I could be wrong there, though. Or Nazaroff. We'll find out about that as they get closer. But she just negotiated the final water jump. Lucinda Gill from Queensland.
Mossy,
lap this up.
What a run. Dominant run from the Queenslander. And as soon as this race is completed, for those at home, we are going to shut off the stream temporarily. So, as mentioned, get down to the shops, get ready for the night, get comfortable. And that's a great run from the Queenslander, Mossy.
So far, she ran off the screen. There is your 2015 national champion in the under-16. And look at this battle that's going all out for second place. Can she get there? And it's Mendez and Webb on the inside who will pick out a third. She'll get the bronze medal. They are your three, and she is stoked. You can't see it on camera, but Webb from Tasmania, very, very happy indeed. She may well have not expected to podium here, but she's taking down the bronze medal. So Webb, Mendez for the minor placing, and Lucinda Crouch in the top gold medal.
And Mossy, I think we're just moments away from tuning out. So for those who have joined us for this second session, we do hope you enjoyed it. And please do join us tonight for what should be an amazing night of athletics. Some of Australia and the world's best athletes going head to head. And we do urge you to tune in.
And our final competitor just coming over. Now listen, guys, grab yourself a break. Grab yourself maybe even cook it up, because, guys, it is going to be heating up tonight here at Sydney Olympic Park Athletics Centre for one of two finals of the Australian Athletics Tour. We're going to see David Rudisha, Mel Breen, Sally Pearson. We've got a whole wealth of stars out here tonight, and you don't want to be going anywhere. Join the conversation on the hashtag Summer of Aths and the hashtag AJAC15. We've just got what?
And we do hope the Queenslander down there at the jump is all right. The staff down there just checking up on her, sorry. And we do hope she's all right. She's getting up, and we do hope she's all right, and we hope she can stick around and enjoy a night of athletics. Thanks to all those at home, and see you soon, ladies and gentlemen. Over and out. See you in session 3.
I love competing in juniors. I just love it. It just reminds me of when I was a little kid and just came out here for the pure love of it.